Okay, so let's keep going. Agenda set, do you need to,
It's real easy to do, so I can hopefully do 4 at once.
okay, okay. So let's move on right away, starting with agenda item 75. For possible action, any items from the morning session that the council staff or applicant wish to be stricken, tabled, withdrawn, or held in abeyance to a future meeting may be brought forward and acted upon at this time, which now will be read into the record by Mayor Pro Tem Tarkanian. So that's this one. This new one that was given to you. Yep.
And Mayor, the following items have been requested to be held in abeyance, withdrawn, or stricken. Item number 93, SUP 75722, applicant CW Nevada, owner L. Chime 24 Fremont Properties LLC in a portion of 2424 South Las Vegas Boulevard. There is an abeyance to 7/17/19 requested by the applicant. And then we have items number 94 to 98, GPA 75219, ZON 75220, VAR 75221, VAC 75222, and TMP 75223. Applicant Dr. Horton Incorporated, owner Alexandra Barbier Living Trust on 5 acres at the southwest corner of Centennial Parkway and Jensen Street. An abeyance is requested to, and there's something wrong here. It's a 73 dash, it must be 73.
Right.
19, requested by the applicant.
Yeah, it is correct, July 3rd. There's
July
just a
3rd.
slash missing.
Yeah, and then items number 102 to 109, GPA 75997, ZON 75998. Excuse me. SUP 75999, SUP 76000, SDR 76002, and TMP 76001, ZON 76145, and TMP 76004. Applicant owner is TP 1000 LLC on 5.03 acres at the southeast corner of Elkhorn Road and Wallapai Way, on 3.55 acres at the southwest corner of Elkhorn Road and Eula Street. Withdrawal without prejudice requested by the applicant. Item number 117, SUP 76080, applicant owner 121 North 4th Street LLC at 121 North 4th Street. Abeyance to 7/17/2019 requested by applicant. Mayor, I move that these requests be approved.
Thank you very much. There are motions, please vote. For all of that, yes.
This is
One
a new
mo,
system.
no, it's just, it's waiting, and you just,
Well, it says waiting.
they're all saying waiting. Well, no, Council, Mayor Pro Tem's work, mine's waiting.
So does it.
I approve. Are you all, anybody who,
Aye.
Aye. Okay, any opposed? Motion carries, or now it's showing. Okay? All right, so next, we'll be pulling forward items 120 through 123, so I'll start by reading 120. DIR 76242, public hearing, applicant 95 Management LLC, owner CAG Property LLC et al., for possible action, request regarding the adoption of the Fifth Amendment or restatement of the Sky Canyon Development Agreement at approximately 1,030 acres northwest corner Grand Teton Drive and Grand Canyon Drive, Ward 6, Councilwoman Fiore. Planning Commission staff recommend approval. This is a public hearing which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present?
Good morning, Your Honor, members of the council. Bob Gronauer, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive. I'm here representing the master developer for Sky Canyon. and I'm here to answer any questions. If you I could give you a quick presentation and give you a little bit of background. This is the fifth restated amendment to the development agreement. The reason for that is this has been a project that was proposed well before the recession hit.
Excuse me, Mr. Gronauer, could I ask legal, can I go ahead and read them all and then just take them one by one?
Yes, ma'am, that's fine.
Is that all right with you, Mr. Gronauer?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, because they're all public hearing and they're all on the same development. So agenda item number 121, DIR 76243, public hearing, applicant 95 Management LLC, owner CAG Property LLC et al., possible action on a request regarding a second amendment and restatement of the Parks Agreement as included within the Fifth Amendment or restatement of the Sky Canyon Development Agreement on approximately 1,030 acres northwest corner Grand Teton Drive and Grand Canyon Drive, Ward 6, Councilwoman Fiore. Agenda item 122, DIR 76290, public hearing, applicant Greystone Nevada LLC, owner Eastland LLC et al. Possible action or request regarding the First Amendment or no, this is different. This is different. Are you representing them too?
Yeah, well, our firm is, my partner Stephanie Allen is going to do the presentation for item 122 and 123. That's for the...
Okay, let's do them separately.
Yes.
Let's just do these two first, then, if
Yes.
that's all right with you, Councilwoman? Okay.
Yeah, that'd be the most appropriate
Please.
way to handle it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Again, council members, I'm here representing the Sky Canyon Master Developer. This is a project that started well before the recession. It has been negotiated during the recession, and the project started just after the recession itself. And today, as you may know, up in the Northwest, this is a thriving master plan community. I'm very proud to stand before you today in representing the Olympia Group from Mr. Goet, Chris Armstrong, Mark Bulldog, Guy Insulaco. Those guys came into the city of Las Vegas, and they have done a tremendous job. And as many of you have been to the grand opening, you've seen the community center. The community center that's out there, they put a lot of money up front. It was about a $16 million community center, state of the art. It has a Starbucks that's within there, has some a food and beverage area that we've negotiated with your staff. Sky Canyon, it also consists of a charter school where the master developer has partnered with the Agassi Turner Foundation, and you have yourself a K through 8 charter school that's up there from Agassi Turner Foundation. The park space that's been built, they've completed Eagle Canyon Park, which is about $2.5 million of money that's been put into the project itself. To date, the Sky Canyon development team has put in approximately $116 million in infrastructure up in the Northwest, which is a very big price tag out there to bring all the home development that you see that's going on out there. One of the more important things that we've done, and I know this is at the direction of Councilwoman Fiore that she's directed us, is with the Allenbeck Park. Not too long ago, many of you were out there for the dedication and the groundbreaking for the Allenbeck Park. I want to thank Councilwoman Fiore and your staff. We've worked very close together to get that on track and get that built sooner than what was initially planned when we negotiated the development agreement itself. And I'm proud to say on behalf of the Allenbeck family that we're going to deliver that park somewhere at the end of the fourth quarter of this year. We're shooting for November for a grand opening. So very excited about that. And then there's many other things that we've done within the development agreement itself. We are now going to, with this new agreement that's before you today, we're going to come in now and build the fire station. So to have the city come in and build the fire station with us giving you money. At the direction of Councilwoman Fiore and Tom Perigo and Peter Lowenstein and Fred Solis, we are now going to give the city an additional $250,000 for the regional park itself to help up in the Northwest area to help jumpstart that. So we've been in close discussions with the councilwoman over this. So with the approval of the agreement in the next few weeks, as we come through to do the formalization of the agreement itself, there is a time period that we have to come in and write a check to the city and provide that the funds for the city so you could continue to move forward with the park in the Northwest. And leading up to 4th of July, the Sky Canyon Group has partnered with the councilwoman, where last year they, on their behalf, threw the fireworks show for everybody up in the community and in the Northwest, and that is being planned again along with many other events as we work closely with the councilwoman out there. So there's a long list of litany of things that we've done in Sky Canyon. I'm very proud, as I represent many master plan communities. I think this is as good of a master plan community as you will see. And the next one that you'll be hearing about is Sunstone, where Stephanie Allen will be talking about in the next 2 items also. I think if anything for this council who's sitting up here, you have nothing but pride of what we've done up in the Northwest and what you're going to continue to see in the Northwest for developments as we move forward. And the other thing I want to mention is Smith's. You might be familiar with the Smith's Center that's there, the food shopping center. It's the largest Smith's food shopping center here in Southern Nevada. It's a place where you can go shop for food. You go to it and get your warehouse items, your car items, whatever you want. It's a one-stop shop for everything. And as I can see also, you can have some wine also while you're shopping. So it's the future of what shopping centers are, and that's what the Sky Canyon Development Group brought before for the city itself. So there's a lot of great things that are still up and coming, very excited. We've also partnered, sold property to Station Casinos, where the casino site that's located on the property. As you guys know, Station Casinos is a great corporate partner here in Southern Nevada, actually in the state of Nevada, and you have nothing but great things to come from Stations in the near future whenever they decide to build their casino that's already approved out there. So as I said, we've partnered with the best of the best here in Southern Nevada to come in and bring you a quality master plan community. It's been a lot of pushing from Councilwoman Fiore to make sure we get things done, parks done quicker, sooner than what we initially anticipated. And the last thing I do want to mention is, without leadership from your staff, we could not be where we are here today. It starts with, Tom Perigo is the top guy that we had to go to negotiate and get pounded for a lot of issues that we had to resolve in whatever way they fell. But the fact of the matter is Tom came in, he said, we're going to get this deal done as soon as we can, and that's why we're here today. But it's also led with Peter and Fred, and there's Lucian and Bart. I give those guys my first names because we all know who those people are. They're a very important part of your staff who makes sure that events like this and things take off. So I know all of you have been up to the Sky Canyon, and I ask you to continue to go up there and see the fruits of the labor from your staff and from what you have given to this community. And I look at the future here with the 5th ARDA. As we kid Peter, we're about ready to go into our 6th ARDA, which we may end up doing. And the reason why we do that is because the market keeps changing. As the market keeps changing, you got to make those changes, because if you don't change, you're going to fall behind and you're not going to grow and be successful. And that's what we've have been able to do. Councilwoman has been open to all the suggestions, and we're very blessed to be able to stand before you today and ask you for the approval of the agreement that we negotiated with your staff.
Thank you. Wonderful report. Let's turn to our staff. And Mr. Lowenstein, who had a haircut, let's hear from you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I did last week. Well, the proposed Fifth Amendment and restatement of the Development Agreement and the associated Parks Agreement, they're all in order. We recommend approval. Staff would also like to take the opportunity to thank everybody who participated in the process. Thank you.
Okay, so there are no changes or anything beyond what's already been stated for both 120 and 121?
That is
I'm going to
correct.
ask the councilwoman to do 120 and then 121, so.
Correct. All of our, leading up to this point, we've addressed any kind of changes or amendments that need to be done right now as you have the final document.
Wonderful. Thank you for your hard work. So these are public hearing items. Anyone who wishes to do other than praise this wonderful development, you're still welcome to come up and say whatever. So looking, hearing, seeing nobody moving a muscle. and tell Mr. God, we're just so grateful, because I was at that groundbreaking for that fallen officer, and what a great tribute, and I know we're working on another one, so, for his partner, and so this is just great, and taking a look at Southern Highlands, and that prior effort to develop a community. It's explosive in the Northwest. It's a beautiful area to be, where we're still preserving Western lifestyle and yet able to marry in a whole development as well. So the offerings are fabulous. Thank you very much. So I will turn to you, Councilwoman. I know how proud you are. Look at her grinning. What could you not do?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm very proud of the project that has come forth, and I'm very proud to work with Mr. Gronauer. You know, what you guys are hearing and seeing is the cream of the crop. What you don't hear and see is in my office through the texts, if you don't get this done, we're not moving forward, and no, we got to talk. And your presentation, if everyone can present like you, we would probably not have anything to discuss up here. But I'm very proud of the people that you work with and your whole team. And I've said it publicly, and they've written it in the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Your company is literally the Boy Scouts of Las Vegas. So with that, I would like to make a motion to move to approve item number 120 with all staff conditions.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve agenda item 120. Please vote and please post.
I have to do an oral vote.
I do too. Mine's not going through. There it goes. Mine went. You have to persevere, Councilman. And there it is. It's been approved. Let's move on to agenda item 121, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to approve agenda item number 121 with all staff conditions.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve 121. Please vote. And please post. Here still isn't going, Councilman, but he said aye. Okay, so let's post all of those. Thank you. The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Ronar.
I know this may be my last time standing before Mayor Pro Tem Tarkanian and Councilman Coffin. I want to thank you both very much over the years. I've obviously practiced before you. You are two fine service people who have done the job, and not only just in this council seat that you've done. I followed you prior to when you were a councilwoman and councilman, and I'm honored and blessed to appear before you, and I got a lot of good stories, and I want to thank you for a lot of things that you taught me throughout the 12 plus years, et cetera, that you guys have been serving here and doing other things. So again, thank you. Best of luck in your retirement. Well deserved. I hope someday I could actually retire on my own terms like you guys. So thank you again very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you. Gorman, right?
Faith.
Do it every time. Okay, let's go on to agenda item 123. Is that the last of the grouping?
122.
122 and 123, pardon me, I stuck together. 122, DIR 76290, public hearing, applicant Greystone Nevada LLC, owner Eastland LLC et al. For possible action or request regarding a First Amendment restatement of the Sunstone Development Agreement on approximately 628 acres, southwest corner of North Sky Canyon Park Drive and Moccasin Road, Ward 6, Councilwoman Fiore. Planning Commission and staff recommend approval. This is a public hearing which I declare open. Mr. Summerfield Lowenstein, please.
Sure. Thank you, Madam Mayor. The First Amendment and the restatement, as well as the development, the Parks Agreement, are in order. Staff is recommending approval of this with no further amendments or revisions needed.
Okay, I'm going to read 123. Is it the same? Greystone, Eastland. Okay, agenda item 123, DR 76291, public hearing, applicant Greystone Nevada LLC, owner Eastland LLC et al. For possible action or request regarding the First Amendment restatement of Sunstone Parks Agreement, approximately 628 acres, southwest corner, North Sky Canyon Drive and Sky Canyon Park Drive and Moccasin Road, again, Ward 6, Councilwoman Fiore. Both Planning Commission and staff recommend approval. So on 123 as well.
That is correct, Madam Mayor. Everything is in order.
Thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing, and we would welcome comments. We'll start with our developers, and comments, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Stephanie Allen, 1980 Festival Plaza Drive, here on behalf of the applicant and the master developer for what is now known as Sunstone Master Plan Community. We're happy and proud to present Sunstone to you this evening, or this morning. In November of 2018, this was split, Sky Canyon was split up into Sky Canyon and what at the time was called Eastland, because we didn't yet have a name for it. We now have a name, and we're proud to present to you Sunstone today. If I could just direct your attention to the overhead, I'll show you where we're talking about. This is approximately 630 acres just to the east of the 95. Moccasin is to the north, and the 95 to the west. We've redone this plan since the November 2018 split, and we've significantly improved it. We think that this is going to be a really great master plan community. With me today are all of the Lennar representatives, Robert Flaxa, Robert Johnson, and Dave Knoyer, who have worked tirelessly over the last 6 to 8 months working on this and coming up with a plan that the city, we hope, can be very proud of. Also is Andy Barron and Tom Durant, who are the landscape architects, and will be rolling out the overall visual product so you can see it today. I also have 2 interns with me, one from Faith and one from Gorman. So they have been apprised of this and been helping me over the last couple days prepare for this presentation today. Courtney Lewis will be a senior at Gorman next year, and Sean Jarko just graduated from Faith Lutheran, and they're interning with us over the next few weeks, and so we wanted to include them today and allow them an opportunity to stand before you and see how your wonderful city operates.
Well, we welcome you both. We think it's wonderful summer employment for you, and hopefully there'll be jobs awaiting you when you finish the next step of your education. Certainly you've got one more year here, Courtney. And so how wonderful to continue what Mr. Gronauer articulated, that he's the Faith family, and we got the Gorman representative here, so chairing both sides. Any comments you'd like to make, either of you?
It's just
Okay.
a pleasure to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
So, thank you.
So I will turn it over to Mr. Barron and let him give you the visual, and he's got a video he'd like to show briefly just so you can see
Great, thank
Sunstone,
you.
and then I'll thank your staff after that, if I could have a
Great.
minute just to
Yes,
thank them.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Again, Madam Mayor, members of the council, very excited to be here today. Andy Barron with Anderson Barron. I'm a planner and landscape architect here on behalf of the Sunstone Development Team. Talking a little bit about, Sunstone and what is already a great master plan community that we think we're adding a lot of value to. And what I want to start with is that this is a project that we've really been focused on designing around the outdoor lifestyle of the residents and focused on the well-being of those residents. So what you're looking at is a list of words that we're using. I call it our manifesto. This manifesto inspires the design throughout the project. These guiding principles have been translated into a plan that we have really kind of said, what can we do to enhance the lifestyle of folks? What are the things that people really like in their community? And what we're trying to do is really take a consciously planned project that integrates connected trails networks at different levels. So what we have is a system of trails that we're calling easy. So mom pushing a stroller can go out and take a mile walk, or somebody who is really more fitness oriented could go on a 6-mile run. And in that whole stretch of elements there, we have various planned activities that can occur. And in that space, we also are focused on the shade. So, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we get into it. So what's being highlighted here is our arrival sequence. So as we come off the 95, we're at a very elevated position. We're coming into a compression zone, which is our arrival experience. This is our entry monumentation. And this signage actually helps frame the long-distance mountain views. And you'll notice that there is a large quantity of tree canopy here. The focus of this is because we are a trail-oriented, exterior-oriented, outdoor community, we really want to make sure that there's a lot of trees, a lot of landscape, so people can enjoy this environment. So kind of a snapshot, you'll see again that framework of the mountain scene in the background, the structure of the tree canopy and the texture of the landscape. As we kind of come to a decision point in the project, which is what's being highlighted here, this is our community icon feature. This really is a moment for people to decide which direction they're going, into more traditional neighborhoods, into the active adult community, or perhaps onward to the regional park that's in the distance. Again, abundance of landscape, lots of canopy. You see people in the foreground walking. We're trying to demonstrate lifestyle from the immediate point when people arrive in the project. This is a snapshot of some of the trail corridors that we were talking about. We have multiple types of textures of pathways. We realize that residents, users of these areas, people that run or people that bike, have different needs. So we have a DG trail, we have an asphalt trail, we've got lots of tree canopy, activity stations. One of the big highlights of the community is that we're also a Wi-Fi enabled community. Be the first in Las Vegas and generally the first in the United States that really has this feature. Again, additionally adding to that level of adventure for folks that might want to take a connected device and be king of the mountain one day or maybe in second place the next. The parks themselves, very unique. We have certain amenities that really can't be found in any other project. Two of them, Project South Park and then a North Park. We don't have fancy names yet. But basically what these include are an abundance of outdoor activities, shade, community gathering spaces, activities that we've partnered with Avid Trails on, who is a renowned trail designer and activity program specialist in the U.S. for these types of connected projects where residents can get on and do a workout on a trail without actually having to go to their gym. And then some unique features like what's shown here in the lower left corner of the page is a bicycle pump track, which actually uses the inertia of somebody kind of pushing up and down on a bicycle to go around the track itself. It has elevation change. It has activities that work for younger kids all the way to adults. And that's been a big theme for us is that health and wellness aspect of a community is providing multi-generational activities for somebody that might be bringing a child there all the way to a grandparent that might want to be able to do an activity with that child itself. So with that being said, we come back to this manifesto and we look at all these words that we're using to inspire the design and these activities and really are very excited about having a project that is very unique and adds to an already very successful master plan community in the northwest part of town. So with that, I'll keep it brief. Happy to answer any questions, but thank you very much for the time.
Looks lovely. Looks lovely. Thank you very much. Any questions before I go to the public and go to our staff? Looks great. Just looks wonderful. Okay, shall we hear from nothing? Everything's covered with your prior comment. Okay, public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard on 122 and 123? I'll close the public comment, and you lucky council person.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's really nice to be the councilwoman for Ward 6 because of projects and people that we get to work with like this. And so with that, I move to approve item number 122 with all staff conditions.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to approve 122. Please vote and please post. Oh, she doesn't have a bubble. There. Affirmative? Yes. Okay, that has unanimity, and that carries, and so agenda item 123.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to approve item number 123 with all staff conditions.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve agenda item 123. Subject to all conditions, please vote and please post. And that motion carries. Wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Enjoy your summers, enjoy your internships. Hopefully we'll see you back.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to Councilwoman
Thank you.
Fiore and all of your staff, Tom Perigo's leadership, and everyone that we've met with on a weekly basis. We appreciate all their time and hard work. You have the best staff in this valley, and we appreciate them. And Councilman Coffin and Mayor Pro Tem will miss you and wish you the best, and things won't be the same without you, but we'll miss you, and we appreciate all that you've done for the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great summer.
You too.
Thanks. Okay, we're back to agenda item 76. Is that correct? It's an abeyance item, public hearing, discussion for possible action to consider a request for a waiver and/or reduction of fees totaling $2,010 in out-of-pocket costs, $19,500 in civil penalties for a total of $21,510 against property located at 1240 South 17th Street, property owner Katie Chen, Ward 3, Councilman Coffin.
Hi.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and City Council. The item before you today is a public hearing for a request of waiver of fees and civil penalties at the request of the current property owner, Katie Chen, for the property at 1240 South 17th Street. This item was before you previously on May 15, 2019. This property appears to have been rehabbed at this time. The current value on Zillow is $79,462. The outstanding amounts on this property are $2,010 for out-of-pocket costs and $19,500 in civil penalties for a total of $21,510. Staff requests that you deny the request of this waiver, as the owner did not comply with the request to obtain a permit and remove the fence, and the city was required to do it for her.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing which I declare open, and I will call on the public after we hear from the applicant or her representative. So if you'll say your name for the record, and if you care to make a statement.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor. Good afternoon, Councilwoman and the Councilman. Thank you so much for giving me one more opportunity.
Your name, please state your name.
Okay, my name is Katie Chen.
Thank you.
So here's Arena and Richie, so here to help me explain better. So last time when I appeared before you, Councilman Coffin said he would like to see progress on the house. I have made many improvements and now have the house listed on the MLS for sale. I borrowed some pictures of before and after the revolution to the house. Also, I have the thumb drive if it's more convenient to see the pictures. So, here are the before. Here are the before pictures. Is any better? Okay.
This way, you have 3 others. I'm going to move to waive 90%
I think that's good if she's ready to put it on the market.
Okay. Okay. All right. So here are the before pictures.
Great improvement. Oh, wow.
Yeah, here was the kitchen. So here are the after pictures. That's the front entrance. That's the backyard. So here is the living room.
Nice.
Living room again. Here's the bar to the kitchen.
Very nice.
Okay. Here is the kitchen. Here's the kitchen again. Kitchen again. Here are the bedrooms. The den. This is the bathroom. This is the bathroom. Bedroom. Backyard. 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 Backyard.
Very nice. Very nice. You did that very quickly, too. It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Any other comments any of you wish to make that are accompanying her? Your name, please.
My name is Irina Veranova, and I'm with Berkshire Hathaway representing Ms. Chen on selling her property. And as you can see by the pictures, she's done a beautiful job with the property. We just listed it and already have a good interest of finding a new owner for this beautiful house.
Beautiful. And what is it listed at?
We just listed it to 29.
Thank you very much. And sir, your name, please, and what's your relationship here to the project?
I'm a friend of Katie. I flip houses and renovate houses as well, and so I came here because...
And your name?
Richard Daly.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, this is a public hearing. Anybody wish to make comment on this application? Okay, thank you. Anything beyond what is Mrs. Zuna? Okay, we're good. So any comments from us here? Nope. Councilman Coffin.
Your Honor, I'm going to address this one exactly as I'm going to address items 77, 78, and 80, all of them in Ward 3. My staff has been by These 4 locations, all of them virtually identical in their improvements from previous times. So I realize this one is different, the others are public hearings, but in any event, I'm going to make a motion here to waive 90% of the civil penalties, which added to the $2,010 in out-of-pocket costs, comes to about $3,960 to be paid within a month from
Do
this.
you agree with that, to pay that amount within a month? Again, repeat the number, please.
$3,960.
Yes.
But we got to make sure that, our officers agree here. Sound good to you?
Yes, your amount is correct.
Would you say
Your
that
amount
again?
is correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's your motion?
Yes, it is.
Okay, there's a motion on agenda item 76. Please vote and please post. And that's us, so that motion carries. So let's move on to agenda item 77. Thank you very much on that. I don't know if you're the same property owner, but you've been approved on 76. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, agenda item 77, public hearing, discussion, possible action to consider a request for a waiver and/or a reduction of fees totaling $8,140.14. Out-of-pocket costs, $68,000. Civil penalties, total of $76,140.14. Recorded against property at 832 North 24th Street. Property owner Minoshka Kara. Now, let me do this.
Carrasquillo.
Carrasquillo. Ward 3, Councilman Coffin. This is a public hearing which I declare open, and you're back on stage.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, City Council. Vicky Ozuna, Code Enforcement Section Manager. The item before you today is a public hearing for a request of waiver of fees and civil penalties at the request of the current property owner for the property at 832 North 24th Street. The City of Las Vegas had 2 abatements completed before the current owner purchased this property March 12, 2019. The total outstanding for hard costs is $8,140.14, and outstanding daily civil penalties is $68,000. The total outstanding is $76,140.14. This property has not been rehabbed at this time. The current value on Zillow is $124,729. Staff requests that you deny this request of waiver.
Thank you very much. And would you introduce yourselves, please, and by stating your name and then anything you'd like to stay on the property?
My name is Minoshka Carrasquillo. This is my realtor, Stephen Picker.
Hi, my name is Stephen Picker with King Realty. I sell and purchase and buy properties and renovate them and get them back on the city records. Minoshka here, we work together. We identify blighted properties around the city. We try to contact the owners, see if they can make it right, listed. In this case, the owner abandoned the property over 4 years ago.
Wow.
We were able to track it down with considerable effort. She went through bankruptcy, some heartaches. I mean, pretty much many of the stories that you've heard about in Las Vegas. We decided to take over her property for her, and get it back on the city rolls. Minoshka has been contacted by some neighbors about, the problems in neighbors, squatters, things like that. So for this property to make sense for us to continue, we would have to get a reduction in the civil penalties. We already spent some considerable money cleaning up the outside of the property in anticipation of being able to move forward with renovation, and maybe Minoshka will decide to live there, or we might sell it or rent it. So
Thank you.
we beg the council for some kind of assistance in this matter.
Thank you. Anyone from the public wish to comment on agenda item 77? I'll close public hearing. Any comments from council? Councilman Coffin, it's yours.
Your Honor, I move on item 77 to waive 90% or abate 90% of the civil penalties, so that the due on that would be $6,800, and we have to add in the out-of-pocket cost of $8,140.14. My grade school math shows about $14,940.14. Vicki, would that be
That is correct.
close enough?
Mhm.
Payable within 30 days. Can you pay it in 30 days?
Yes, we can.
All right. That is it. That is my
Thank
motion.
you.
Your Honor.
That's the motion, so please vote and please post.
We're going to send you updated payoff demands and directions on how to pay.
And post, that motion carries. Thank you very much.
No,
It was
just
probably in back. In back. Okay, so that has been approved.
What happened to his leg?
At that amount, 14,000, what was the number? Within 30 days?
He's wearing a brace.
Okay, 14,940.
And
Thank you.
14 cents.
And 14 cents.
Yes.
I won't forget
Okay.
that one.
Okay. Great, so that has concluded, that's been approved.
Thank you very much, council.
Thank you.
Enjoy your retirement, Mayor.
Thanks. I'm here, you're going for me. Okay, agenda item 78, public hearing and discussion, possible action to consider request for waiver or reduction of fees totaling $5,626 out-of-pocket costs, $39,000 in civil penalties for a total of $44,626 against property located at 849 Greenbrook Street, property owner James D. Smith, Ward 3, Councilman Coffin. This is a public hearing which I declare open, and let's turn back to Mrs. Zuna.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. Vicki Ozuna, Code Enforcement Section Supervisor, Manager. The item before you today is a public hearing for a request of waiver of fees and civil penalties at the request of the Administrator, Gary Campbell, who represents the decedent, James D. Smith, the current property owner for the property of 849 Greenbrook Street. The City of Las Vegas completed 2 abatements that both were needed to secure and clean this property as it was abandoned and neglected. The outstanding hard costs are $5,626, and outstanding daily civil penalties are $39,000 for a total of $44,626. The property has been rehabbed at this time, and the current Zillow value online is $212,402. Staff requests that you deny this request.
Thank you very much, and welcome. Please state your name for the record.
Michael Turner.
Thank you, and with you is,
This is Greg Logan.
okay, would you, again, for the record, state your name
Gregory Logan.
and your relationship to the applicant here?
Actually, I'm the owner now. We closed on May 20th of 2019.
Okay, thank you. All right, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to be heard on agenda item 78 in the application? I'm going to close public hearing and turn this over to Councilman Coffin.
Your Honor, same identical case. The property looks really great now. The neighborhood appreciates it, and it sets a good example for the rest of the neighborhood. I move for waiver of 90% of the daily civil penalties, which would be, wait a minute, am I right here? Yeah, $3,900, and we can't waive out-of-pocket costs, so I have a total of $9,526 to be paid within 30 days.
Yes, sir.
You would agree to that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we need to make sure that Vicki Ozuna also agrees with that number.
$9,526.
Thank you, ma'am.
In 30 days.
That is
In
my
30
motion.
days.
30 days.
Okay, thank you. There's a motion. Please vote and please post. Yes, please. You want to make a comment?
May I comment?
Yes, please.
Yeah. I seen, Greg and I got here a little early, and we seen the thing about Mr. Kaufman on the screen, about his video send-off. And it's too bad that some of these houses that we've done, they've been vacant for at least 10 years. They were the worst of the worst. They were an eyesore to the neighborhood. By him allowing us to come in and do what we do, it says a lot about him and how he takes pride in the Huntridge community. I can, without a shadow of a doubt, be convinced that if we didn't get relief from you guys, there's no way it could be possible. So I want to thank you, happy retirement, and many blessings to you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nice words and comments, and we agree. Thank you. Thank you. Keep doing your work.
Thank you.
Want all the neighborhoods fixed up.
Fix more.
Yeah, buy and fix more, faster. Agenda item 79, public hearing and discussion for possible action regarding a nuisance notice and order for failed inspection fees of $3,870 and assess daily civil penalties up to $63,000 and to authorize the recording of a lien against property located at 1571 South Tenaya Way, property owner Willis W. III and Sonia Walker, Ward 1, Councilwoman Tarkanian. This is a public hearing which I declare open, and Mrs. Zuno.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. Vicki Ozuna, Code Enforcement Section Manager. The item before you today is requesting civil penalties of up to $6,300. And we're requesting that you authorize a lien against the property located at 1571 South Tenaya Way. The property is owned by Willis and Sonia Walker. And the request is due to the fact that we have noticed them and advised them that short-term rental activity from their property is not allowed. Code Enforcement received a complaint on June 19, 2018. Staff researched and monitored the property for short-term rental activity, and as a result, we verified the activity and issued a notice and order on July 11, 2018. The property is advertised on 4 different listings on Airbnb. The owner rents out multiple bedrooms for short-term stays. Code Enforcement staff spoke directly with Mr. Walker in 5 different conversations. During these conversations, staff was very direct with him regarding the consequences of continuing to rent short-term. In December 2018, Code Enforcement requested a search warrant for the rental platforms through the City Attorney's Office. The warrant was approved and sent to Airbnb. Data and information was returned to us February 16, 2019. Findings from our review of the data were that the owners had rented their property for 126 days through all of their platforms after the notice and order advising them to cease the activity had occurred. Our findings also verified that there was 61 days of rental activity that occurred after, there was around 150 days of activity that occurred before the notice and order was issued. The owner has another property in Clark County that they are addressing for the same type of activity. I'm asking today for your approval of assessment of fees for $3,870 for 26 code enforcement inspections and $63,000 in civil penalties for a total of $66,870 as to be recorded as a lien against the property.
Thank you. And sir, do you want to announce your name and make your comments?
Yes, my name is Willis Walker. I am the owner of the home. My comments are that I do not contest any of the things she spoke about. I have spoken with a few code enforcement officers. I've reached out to others and kind of gotten advice. I will admit in the beginning I was not aware of the gravity of it, but as it grew, I did start to understand. The only reason I'm here primarily is because during this period of time, both my wife and I are working for the same company. The company was sold, and we went through a period where, quite frankly, it was very important to do what we could just to maintain our home and our family situation. I know that doesn't change anything, but it is simply the reality of what we were faced with for a couple of years without income. And, you know, there's nothing glamorous about renting your children's bedroom to try to keep up with your mortgage payment, but it was what we were trying to do until we could get both gainfully employed again. And what I had thought, given the fact that I was aware that there were party homes and stuff like that around Vegas that were a problem, I honestly believed that a couple of my bedrooms and the fact that my neighbors weren't really impacted by it, and it wasn't a party home, there were no pool parties or anything like that, I did not assume that it would be pushed to this level. And that's my statement.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's a compelling one. This is a public hearing. Anyone wish to be heard on agenda item 79? I'll close the public hearing. Anything from council? Okay, Councilwoman Tarkanian.
The concern that I have here is that you weren't contacted once, twice, 3 times. You were contacted 5 times, and that was after the notice of intent. 5 times after that, and you had 150 days before that you were renting it out? Did I understand that correctly?
It was either 150 days or 61. I might have gotten, because I have so many short-term rentals on today, I might have gotten them confused.
All right, and where is your house located, your second house?
We were renting, when we first moved to Las Vegas in 2007, we were renting a house in Summerlin. And our plan was, once we moved to 1571 Tenaya Way, our plan was to go back and purchase that home. So that's why we had a family member living there full-time, and that's why we were going back and trying to, essentially we were trying to make enough money so that we could purchase the home.
Councilwoman?
So the other house is in the city or the county?
The second home, we're unaware of where the location is. One of the officers that is working the case has been conferring with the county and confirmed that the other house is in the county.
Of course, you know, if you're in the county, you're illegal anyway.
Say it again?
I said, if you're in the county, you're illegal anyway, all the way. They don't allow any short-term rentals in the county.
And I understand that, and we switched to 30 days in October of last year. 30-day to 60-day leases. So we haven't had that since October of last year.
Mayor Pro Tem, I also want to point out that we did receive complaints from the neighboring properties several times during this time period because of the activity, and they were not appreciative of it. And this case actually came to light after we hired UHost, and the property was identified on UHost as having an active illegal short-term rental.
Is it okay for me to request, I wasn't aware of any notifications from neighbors. Would that be something that I would get or no? Got it.
You have a compelling situation there about your being out of work, but of course, I don't know exactly when you were out of work. You're telling me, but I don't know. And you haven't complied. You know, this is a situation. Look at what we have here. We have here some rules and regulations we've put into the city. Why have we put them into the city? Because you haven't paid taxes to the, room taxes. You haven't paid any of that, let alone what is here in the city. I don't want to have to put $63,000 on somebody, but I don't know, I have to tell you, I don't know if you're telling me the truth, that you were out of work and then your wife was out of work. I don't have that information.
If it would be appropriate, I could forward you mortgage details and things that would make that very clear to you. If that,
Madam
it's not
Mayor.
what I want to do, but if that's appropriate.
Madam Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem, if I might help, I would just mention that this is just to assess the fees for the penalties for the illegal activity. The property owner would still then have the ability to come forward for a request of a waiver of any of those penalties through the hearing process at a future date, if you're inclined to allow him to gather his information and do that. But this is just to set these penalties for the documented activity that it did occur on this site. If he would like to demonstrate some mitigating factors, he can do that through the hearing process as well, to request a waiver down the road, if that's something you want to just take into consideration.
I'm not trying to be hard-hearted here. In fact, sometimes I'm told I'm not hard enough on things. But this is a situation, I've been here 14, excuse me, I'm sorry, my voice. I've been here 14 years, and in those years, I've watched our code enforcement work so hard and diligently, and somebody comes up with some reason why that this can't be done. And usually, because we are soft-hearted up here, we agree, okay, we won't do it, and then we find out later that it wasn't the actual information. I would have to say that based on the information I have now, you're telling me that you went without a license for 150 or 61 days. You're not quite sure there, Vicki, on your thing. And then after you were notified, that's what bothers me. You were notified Not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, 5 times you were notified, and the officers talked with you. You could have asked for a payment plan. You could have asked for some help so that, you wouldn't have to pay a whole bunch at one time, but you didn't do that. And how can we keep up the morale of our people if we continually take the efforts they make and throw them out the window when we're given information like this without really proof? So I would like to move to continue this as it is, as has been recommended by code enforcement, but to recommend that you seek a waiver. Then if you seek the waiver, you show that you didn't have the monies to do it, certainly then I myself would vote, all right. Maybe I've been here too long, 14 years, and I've become a little bit jaded, what people have told me. But they have told me that I've so many times that I've believed, and quite honestly, I shouldn't have. Did you want to say anything, Vicki? You think that's too tough?
Yes, please. No, I think you're right.
And I thank you for your consideration. I appreciate that. I was a part of a public selling of a company that I can definitely validate when it's sold. I can validate that. I can validate pretty much everything I've said, but I thank you for your time and your consideration.
Right, and I want to say that I would like to go on record as you request the waiver, if you could bring this to there, that I myself feel that if he was out of work, consideration should be made to certainly reduce that amount.
Yeah. And I'd like to say I was actually just here to ask for mitigation. I don't necessarily have a fight against what she's saying. I just thought this was the appropriate place to request mitigation.
I just, sir, I respect you, and I just hope that you understand my situation here. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to put a big burden on you, but we have the workers who work so hard in the city.
Understood.
And so many times we vote and change what they do, and after a while, their morale begins to slip a little.
Completely understand.
Okay, so I'd like the motion to accept the recommendation of code enforcement with also the recommendation that you seek a waiver and bring forth that information as to when you were not at work and your wife was not at work.
I will.
And I don't know how much money you brought in on your Summerlin home either.
Yes.
You might want to have that.
I will do.
So that we know, was it a good amount because it's a home in Summerlin, or was it just as you have now, a small amount?
Yeah, I will do.
And just add the facts. So that's my motion to follow the recommendation of code enforcement.
Okay, which is regarding a nuisance notice and order. So please vote and please post. Yours didn't go through for some reason, Councilwoman.
Do I walk away? That's it.
Okay, so you'll meet again and bring all the information, and that will go later. Thank you.
How am I contacted?
We'll contact.
And the thing is, the city's always willing to listen to that and to bring you factual information. They're very good.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Agenda, thank you. Agenda item 80, public hearing, discussion, possible action, consider request for a waiver and/or a reduction of fees totaling $47,851.10 in out-of-pocket costs and $97,500 in civil penalties for a total of $145,351.10 recorded against property located 4550 East Van Buren Avenue, property owner Realty Data Group, Ward 3, Councilman Coffin. This is a public hearing which I declare open, and Mrs. Zuna.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. Vicki Ozuna, Code Enforcement Section Manager. The item before you today is a public hearing for a request of waiver for fees and civil penalties at the request of Realty Data Group, LLC, for the property at 4550 East Van Buren. City of Las Vegas has completed 5 abatements, and multiple of them were completed to secure and clean this property, and another was to demolish the damaged structure on site. The total outstanding for hard costs is $47,851. Total daily civil penalties outstanding is $97,500, and the total outstanding is $145,351.10. The property is a vacant lot and is currently in a state of violation.
Okay, thank you very
Staff
much.
requests that you deny this request.
Okay, thank you very much. This is a public hearing, which I mentioned, which is open. And sir, if you will announce yourselves, who you are, and if you own the property, or what your relationship, both of you, please.
Anthony Tsai. We just acquired the property a couple months ago,
Oh,
and we'd like to use this lot for a transitional housing, but because there's a huge lien right now, it just doesn't pencil out to start the project without addressing the previous violation assessments. And we're here to request that the civil penalties be waived.
and what did you pay for the property? You bought it after it was raised and it was like this?
Yes.
And how much was that, please?
Basically, we just got the property from the previous owner because they're
At
tired
what
of
price? What price did you buy the lot?
zero consideration because they just tired of the liens and the aggravations of owning it.
Okay. So you did not pay them anything to buy the property?
None, Your Honor.
Okay. And you, sir?
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Danny Garcia.
And your
And,
partners?
We are business partners, correct.
Correct. Okay, thank you. Let's, at this point, let's hear, is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on agenda item 80? Hearing and seeing none, I'll close that, and we'll turn this interesting over to Councilman Coffin.
Thank you. It is interesting, Your Honor, because Ms. Ozuna says it's still in violation. Okay, why? I mean, I thought my staff had driven by this, and they give it a green light, but as I look at it, these are new pictures.
Councilman, yeah, these pictures are just from Monday, so this property is in violation, and as part of any motion, we would also request that you ask that the property owners remedy the situation immediately, particularly the refuse that's out on the perimeter of the site and the graffiti that's on the back wall.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you're just waiting for us to make it easier for you to buy it?
How can you have
Or
a
have
piece
you
of
bought it?
property with no consideration?
No,
Doesn't
we
there have to be
we currently are the owners, and the property has been cleaned a few times. It's just that since it's a vacant lot, people find it easy to just come and drop debris. There's a bunch of, it's basically the only vacant lot within the subdivision of that neighborhood. So what they do is they drop old couches, they cut trees and landscaping, and they go throw it in there. Even though it's gated, it's still subject to, probably teenagers going through the gate. It's targeted for graffiti, as you can see, but the reason for us in requesting the request of waiver is for hopefully getting started in a transitional living complex, and for us to do that, we would have to get also city approval in regards to rezoning and things like that of that matter. So in taking or having a huge lien like that, it kind of, like my partner said, it doesn't pencil out for us to start putting out money into possibly getting plans and permits and things like that for rezoning.
But so far, you've paid nothing, right? It's been given to you.
No, they own it.
They own it,
Yeah.
but there was no cost to them. It was given.
Well,
They didn't buy it.
We took it as invaluable consideration, but we paid the,
Filing fee?
what is the filing fee, the recording, and transfer tax, which is the customary
Yes, please.
transfer tax.
Councilwoman Fiore.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this is kind of sounding questionable. Who owns the lot?
We do.
You do? Did someone, is it your family that owned the lot and just kind of quick claimed it over to you?
No, the people that used to own the property at one point when there was still a single-family residence on the lot, they, I'm not sure the complete story, but they lost the property due to some kind of either foreclosure or whatnot. Then the property either had a fire damage, and then the city demolished it. So then the lot had been sitting vacant for several years. Like most of the property here in Vegas that sits vacant, and it's basically, if it's not vacant, it's either in dilapidated conditions, and people had just walked away, banks are not doing anything, the previous owners not doing anything. So what we do is basically find the people that used to live in the house, and in basically looking for them to see or give us an intention of what they're wanting to do with the property when they deny doing anything with the property. So then we just ask them if they can transfer the property to us at that point for a significant fee, insignificant fee or none, and they vouch to say, well, I'll just transfer the fee because they don't want the problem. So we take over the property, we start fixing the property.
You've done other such properties and improved them and sold them?
Yes, actually one that you guys approved was 2240 Conchita. We actually did that one, and you guys gave us a reduction on that one, which we appreciate. That one actually was fixed, rehabbed, and sold to first-time home buyers.
Okay.
And so we're in the process, and our intention is obviously to fix the communities, revitalize neighborhood, house at a time, and try to get this pretty much money back into the city and things like that.
Okay. So how many homes have you rehabbed or taken in property like this and built homes? How many?
Specifically like this, it's only been a couple, but in regards to actually flipping and doing houses, we've done several hundred properties in Las Vegas. So it's basically our niche here. We just kind of moved into there's 38,000 of these actually right now in Las Vegas. So those are the ones that we're attacking to basically do and try to clean up the city as much as we can.
Okay, thank you.
I just don't understand, Madam Mayor, how they got the property for free.
Madam Mayor, if I could.
Please respond.
Here's what the history on the property shows for the parcel. Back when we did the abatements, it belonged to Charles and Bambi Compton. And then in 2017, the property was purchased by Smith and Parker LLC, who then, and it appears that they sold it to these people for a total sales value of, on the declaration of value, of $74,583. So that's what it says on the official paperwork.
That is correct. And then the previous owners, which are Charles and Bambi, they currently reside in a small town of Texas. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but all the whole transaction was done, with notaries, with proper documentation, and there's.
So you actually did purchase the property for $74,000.
That's
the value. That's the assessed value of the property. But I'm looking at the assessor records now. They just did a grant bargain and sale deed from Smith and Parker to Realty Data Group, and then just recorded that on the parcel. So,
right.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
It is the assessed value for transfer fee.
Okay. So back to you, Councilman.
Your Honor, this is more complicated, and staff has agreed with me. We need to revisit this because a lot of unanswered questions. Vicki, did you ever consider putting this over to the person who adjudicates these things?
To the hearing master, to the city council designee? Well, we always forward them on to you guys first to find out if you want to hear it. So you requested to hear it, so we put it on the council agenda. It has not gone to the hearing
Well, Your Honor, I
council
could
designee.
either then, I guess, move to send it back to the hearing officer, or what we call the designee, or obey it for a month so that our new council member, Olivia Diaz, can have time to study this and make it her first
But my
fund.
question to you is it their responsibility in the interim to clean it up?
Yes.
We will most definitely clean it up again. Like I said, it's something that's ongoing. We can clean it up, pictures can be taken, and then you'll see that maybe a couple of weeks later, the people just, come and drop things
We'll
off.
be on top of it too, so.
Right.
So we would have to be pretty much.
We actually have our June hearings coming up next week. I could actually move it to that hearing if you want it to go to the designee.
Oh, I'd sort of like to, if I leave this for my successor, so that she might learn how these things work. It's a good thing. She doesn't live that far away from there. So I think that it would be better, and if we could stop the clock or stop tolling on fees, except out of pocket,
Nothing is
for 30
tolling right
days
now.
until essentially the mid-July meeting for Councilwoman Diaz. I would prefer that, because it's going to take time for staff to look at it too again.
Madam Mayor, just for the record, as we figure all of this out, I will say legitimately, people dump garbage and landscaping on properties. We have it in Ward 6 all the time. where I literally sometimes call my contractor friends to help, and Republic and Western Elite to bring the dumpster up, because people dump their stuff on property.
If I could go through on this thing, the idea, Your Honor, is that you're not taking care of this property. I mean, there's weeds that are considerably more than a few days or a week old. So there's all kinds of things that are wrong here. But I think if we just stop the clock and you keep it up, keep it maintained properly, the next council person will be, I think, entertain some thoughts on this. But right now, I'd like very much to move, Your Honor, this item to the July 17th City Council meeting.
Okay, and that's your motion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and meanwhile, you'll clean it up, give it your best effort, and get rid of the weeds, so at least it
Correct,
looks
yes,
better.
we will do that.
Okay, there's a motion to obey this agenda item 80 to the 17th of July. Please vote, and please post.
Thank you, you guys have a good afternoon.
Thank you, that motion carries. Thank you very much. Thank you. We'll move on to agenda item 81, public hearing and discussion for possible action regarding a nuisance notice and order for failed inspection fees, $4,928, and assessed daily civil penalties up to $77,000, and to authorize the recording of a lien against property located at 8900 Condati Court, property owner Anna Ortega, Ward 2, which is vacant. It's a public hearing, and let's go forward with this, please.
Good afternoon, Madam Mayor and Council. Vicki Ozuna, Code Enforcement Section Manager. The item before you today is regarding approval of civil penalties for illegal rental activity regarding the property located at 8900 Condati Court. This property is owned by Anna Ortega. Code Enforcement opened a case on September 21st, 2017 due to a citizen complaint for unlicensed short-term rental activity. Staff researched and monitored the property for short-term rental activity, and as a result of verifying that activity, a notice and order was issued on September 23rd, 2017. The notice and order was mailed certified in regular mail, and the notice was posted on site of the property. This property is advertised on Airbnb under site ID 569039. This site has been active ever since March 18, 2015. The site is still currently active. Staff communicated by phone and by email with Ms. Ortega and discussed the need for her to cease the activity. She advised staff that she would apply for an SUP and submitted an application to planning on November 20th, 2018. The hearing before Planning Commission was held on January 8, 2019, and the request was denied. The item was then scheduled before City Council and held in abeyance on February 6, 2019 and March 6, 2019. On March 26, 2019, the owner held a neighborhood meeting to discuss the issues of her application. Ms. Ortega withdrew her request without prejudice on April 3, 2019 for the City Council meeting. Code enforcement staff inspected the property 38 times, with the officers verifying illegal activity on multiple occasions. In February 2019, code enforcement requested search warrants for the rental platforms from Airbnb through the city attorney's office. The warrant was approved and sent to Airbnb, and the data and information was returned to us on April 8, 2019. As of today, the Clark County Assessor's Office shows that this property is ownership is under Cardozo Family Trust. Sorry, discount that. That's on the next one. Findings of our review show that the property owner had rented out the building or the property 154 days and had 278 days of rentals that occurred before the notice and order was issued. I'm asking today for your approval of assessment of fees of $4,920 for the 32 inspections and $77,000 civil penalties for a total of $81,920, and be recorded as a lien against the property.
Okay, and sir, will you introduce yourself, say your name, and if you are in fact part of the family that owns this, or if you're representing the ownership.
Yes, my name is Juan Arribas. I am Ana Ortega's husband, and she is not able to be here today. We have young children and live in San Francisco Bay Area, so...
You're married to Ana Ortega?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever appeared before us in these 4 years
No, ma'am.
before?
I have not.
Could you, why don't you go ahead and make your comments, and then let's go from there.
Yeah, so I'm not here to contest, the violation. I think the violation documentation is inaccurate. I believe that Airbnb has provided the wrong accounts information. So according to the records that we have, there's no match whatsoever, and the violation, as we try to assess it ourselves, is quite different in terms of the number of days that the house was rented. Anna did try to rectify the situation. Initially, she did not receive the notices. I know that they were mailed. They were mailed to an address that she was not living at for the past 10 years. She did receive a phone call in January of 2018 from an officer. And from that point forward, she stopped taking any rentals that were short-term. That was starting January 20-something, 2018. We can prove we have records where the house was officially rented through Airbnb for longer than 30 days each of those times. And so we'd like to just get consideration to either get a continuum so that we can go through and set the record straight, where, if there's a penalty that we have for violation that we have committed, obviously we would be okay to pay it. But we'd like to, for it to be fair and at least accurate.
What is it, if I may, what's the zip code on Condati Court? Or where is it located? What are the cross streets?
In 89117, and it's located Charleston and Rampart. I want to clarify, in regards to the number of days and the violations, Ms. Ortega contacted me last week and asked, we were talking about the fines and the penalties and the number of rentals. I asked my staff to fax over to her the case file, and I didn't know that 2 cases were put together. So she got rental records from another property, but in our consideration of, and review of the records, only her records were utilized in coming up with the amount that she's in violation of. So.
Okay. Yeah. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone who wishes to be heard on agenda item 81? I'll close public hearing. Is there anything, Mr. Summerfield, to add to this?
Again, Madam Mayor, just a reminder that this is just to assess the liens and the penalties, assess the penalties for the illegal activity at this site. The property owner will have an opportunity, if they believe they have a case for reducing those waivers, to come forward to the hearing officer at a future date and making that request. But this is, they can obviously request they be lowered at this point, but they will have that additional opportunity through the hearing process for a waiver if they choose to follow up with that option.
Okay. So there is an opportunity for you, with the absence of someone sitting in the chair, Ward 2 council person, because I'm mayor and represent all of the city. I did take upon myself to take care of Ward 2 until we had an individual elected to fill that. So what I'm going to do is, you've heard there's an opportunity to move forward with the appeal to ask for reduction of fees. That's not today. So I'm going to do exactly what we did with the private one and move for approval of agenda item 81 regarding possible action, nuisance notice, an order for failed inspection fees. But you have the opportunity, Mr. Summerfield said, the appropriateness would be for him to follow up with Mrs. Zuna.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, Mrs. Zuna will give him the information on how to proceed with going before the hearing officer or the ward representative on the waiver process.
Okay, so you'll be in touch here. So we're going to move forward. I'm moving for approval of agenda item 81, and Mrs. Zuna will help you go to the next stage on that. So please post, and that motion carries. So,
thank you.
Okay, thank you. And we're now on to agenda
Mayor,
item.
excuse me,
Councilman Creer, did you want to vote on that item? Okay.
Hi, Mr.
We're going to take it as an oral
Councilman
vote.
Creer. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. We're going to take it as an oral vote then. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Thank you very much. Thank you. Move forward, let's look at 82. Public hearing discussion for possible action regarding a nuisance notice and order for failed inspection fees of $2,820 assessed daily civil penalties up to $71,000, and to authorize the recording of a lien against the property located at 11484 Parkersburg Avenue, property owner Cardoza Family Trust, and Victor M. Jr. and K.S. Cardoza trustees, Ward 2, which is vacant. Public hearing I declare open. Ms. Azuna, let's go on. This is the one you started to talk about.
Yes, it is. Good afternoon, Madam Mayor, Council. Vicky Ozuna, Code Enforcement Section Manager. The item before you today is regarding approval of civil penalties for an illegal short-term rental activity at this property at 11484 Parkersburg Avenue, owned by the Cardoza Family Trust and Victor M. Jr. and K.S. Cardoza trustees. Code Enforcement opened a case on January 8, 2018, due to it being identified for unlicensed short-term rental activity on our program U-Host. Staff researched and monitored the property for short-term rental activity, and as a result of verifying that activity, a notice and order was issued on January 10, 2018. The property is advertised on Airbnb under site ID 213-09926. The site has been active since December 16, 2017, and U-Host has documented that the site has been taken down at least 24 times and was permanently removed on February 28, 2019. Staff communicated by mail with Kimberly S. Cardoza and multiple times and discussed the need for her to cease this activity. In March 2019, Code Enforcement requested a search warrant for rental platforms from Airbnb through the City Attorney's Office. The warrant was approved and sent to Airbnb. Data and information was returned to us April 18, 2019, and staff received an email from the owner asking why the city was requesting her records from Airbnb. On April 16th, the owner then recorded 2 documents against the property, an all-inclusive deed of trust and a grant bargain sale deed. We believe they were trying to change the ownership on the property. As of today, the Clark County Assessor's Office still shows the ownership of the property is under Cardoza Family Trust with Victor M. Jr. and Kimberly S. Cardoza as trustees. Findings from our review of the data were that the owners had rented their property for 142 days through the platform after the notice and order advising them to cease the activity had occurred. Our findings also verified that there was 272 days of rental before the issuance of the notice and order to cease the activity. I'm asking today for your approval of assessment of fees of $2,820 for 19 inspections and $71,000 in civil penalties for a total of $73,820 and recording and approval to record a lien against the property.
Thank you. Before I turn it over to this gentleman and you'll announce your name and your relationship, is this ownership, as far as your records show, out-of-town ownership or local ownership?
No, it shows ownership at 11551 Trevi Fountain Avenue, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89138.
And, okay, well, there was one other thing I wanted to ask you. But after notification, there were 142 rentals?
Correct.
You said?
Correct.
After notification?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Please go ahead, sir.
Good afternoon, Council. My name is Chris Craig. I am the 100% owner of the LV Opportunity Zone LLC. I own that property today. I buy distressed property or people having problems making their payments. The Cardoza Family Trust, what's that?
When did you buy the property, please?
I purchased it and recorded the deed on April 16th of this year.
Okay. And may I ask what you paid for it?
I took it subject to the existing liens.
Subject to the lien?
Well, subject to the existing 2 mortgages, which amounts to about $420,000, and the value of the property is about $395, maybe $399, depending on what day the wind blows.
And physically, what are the biggest cross streets on the property, or what's the zip code?
Charleston and, is it the Vista? Summerlin, kind of Paseos area, Vistas.
Okay, so 89128 area?
138.
Yeah, Charleston in the 215.
Okay.
89138.
Okay, so please go ahead, sir.
So I filed a protest the other day just because I'm unfamiliar with the existing whatever Miss Cardozo's problems were. She couldn't be here today because she has 2 broken ribs. She's got medically unable just to even move. So I'm objecting to these liens on a number of grounds. One, I own the property. Whatever happened to her, the property's changed over ownership. There was no liens on the property other than the first and second mortgage. Everything's current on that. I'm probably losing $500 a month on it. There's a current renter in there, pays $1,800 a month. It's a woman and her children. She wants to stay for at least 2 years. I'm giving her right now it's a month-to-month rental, but she's been in there since April 26th. I think I provided documents with my protest of the lease agreement. I'll just let my objections stand without saying them in public because I think they're on the record or they're filed. He must be city counsel or city attorney?
Deputy City Attorney David Bailey.
Okay.
I'm not aware of the protest or other documents the gentleman's talking about. If I can just address 2 points, though. There's an issue with title because the conveyance that the gentleman's talking about, the deed was from Ms. Cardoza personally, not from the trust, which we're showing as being in ownership, nor from Ms. Cardoza in her capacity as a trustee. So the city does not believe that there's been a conveyance to the gentleman's LLC. But in a sense, it is a moot issue because the conduct that led to the city sending out the notice and order and then also, seeking the daily civil penalties and the fines today, that took place notwithstanding who the owner is. The focus is that took place. It's proper to assess fines for that, and it would lead to
I appreciate
absurd results
it.
to let.
And as I said on the prior case, the Ward 2 seat is vacant. I'm going to open up, I have opened up the public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to be heard on this item? I'm going to close public hearing. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion right now, which will be the same. This needs to move to the newly elected ward council person. And so you'll be able, what I'm going to do is recommend acceptance on this agenda item regarding the nuisance notice in order for failed inspection fees, which gives you the opportunity to work with Ms. Azuna and the new ward council person who's been elected but not sworn in is not active. Because at this point, it would be improper for us because of what I'm hearing. It doesn't sound like we're at a point that all the pieces are going to fit for us to make a cogent decision today. So I'm going to move for the approval on agenda item 82. You need to talk with Ms. Azuna, our attorney as well for the city, to set up appointments to clarify everything and your title to the property, everything, all that needs to be done. So at this point, unless you have anything else.
The title of the property is clear. If you read the legal description on the deed that was transferred from the proper trust, does not match the legal description for this property. There was an error by the county recorder, and I caught that.
Well, I'm glad you have, but this will help the new council person when seated to have all the information. So that will be carried over till July 17th.
So that will be here?
Right here.
And then what about, would that be a waiver? Are we requesting for an additional waiver, or?
Mr. Summerfield.
Madam Mayor, I just want to be clear because it sounded like you were motioning to approve the item and then let him work with Ms. Azuna to come forward for waivers at a future date. That wouldn't be a date specific. That would be he would work with Ms. Azuna to establish after the new council person's in office, whether that would go to a hearing officer or come back to council as a waiver request. Once all of this other stuff is figured out and he can make that case at that time. But what I was hearing was it sounded like you were actually motioning to approve this.
Stop right there. That's why you're the director of planning, not me. And so that is exactly correct. And we only will be swearing in our new council persons on the 3rd. That would not be an appropriate day anyway, but this is sort of open-ended now, and so you will work with our attorney's office, but through Ms. Azuna going forward. So I'm going to move to approve this item, but that's where you head with no dates. Forget July 17th unless it works out that way going forward, and you will meet the new council person after the 3rd of July.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Craig. Please vote and please post. And that motion carries. So we are going to take a 20-minute recess here, and we'll see you back here at 10 minutes of 1. We are back from recess, and we are going to do 83 through 92. Does that sound reasonable at this point? Okay, so let me read. Items number 83 through 92 may be considered in one motion, one vote. They're considered routine, non-public, and public hearing items with no condition changes. Any person representing an application or a member of the public or member of the council not in agreement with the conditions and all standard conditions for the application recommended by staff should request to have that item removed from this portion of the agenda. Note that the record should reflect my abstention on items number 85 through 90 because they pertain to medical marijuana-related businesses, and one of my sons involved in that industry. I'll be voting on all other items. Agenda item 83, RQR 75251, required review, public hearing, applicant Clear Channel Outdoor, owner Lance B. and Marianne Miller et al. A required review of an approved special use permit U-0039-90 for a 55-foot tall, 14-foot by 48-foot off-premise sign at 3700 East Charleston Boulevard, C1 Limited Commercial Zone. Number 84, RQR 75254, required review, public hearing, applicant Lamar Central Outdoor, LLC, owner Rainbow Promenade NV, LLC, and a required review of an approved special use permit U-0137-95 for a 40-foot tall, 14-foot by 48-foot off-premise sign at 2201 North Rainbow Boulevard, C1 Limited Commercial Zone. Number 85, RQR 76076, required review, public hearing, applicant Commercial Park Medical, LLC, owner MW LLC, and a required review of an approved special use permit SUP 55272 for a dual-use marijuana dispensary at 1112 South Karma Street, M Industrial Zone. Number 86, RQR 76374, required review, public hearing, applicant Acres Medical LLC, owner 2320 Western LLC et al., on a required review of an approved special use permit SUP 55187 for a dual-use marijuana dispensary and related item. Number 87, RQR 76375, required review, public hearing, applicant Acres Medical LLC, owner 2320 Western LLC, and al. A required review of an approved special use permit SUP 55190 for a dual-use marijuana production facility at 2320 Western Avenue, M Industrial Zone. Number 88, RQR 76386, required review, public hearing, applicant Naturex 2 LLC, owner WAP LLC, on a required review of an approved special use permit SUP 55182 for dual-use marijuana dispensary at 1860 Western Avenue, M Industrial. Number 89, RQR 76393, required review, public hearing, applicant Desert Air Wellness DBA Sahara Wellness, owner Cecil Properties LLC, on a required review of an approved special use permit SUP 55201 for a dual-use marijuana dispensary at 420 East Sahara, C1 Limited Commercial Zone. Number 90, RQR 76402, required review, public hearing, applicant Integral Associates DBA Essence, owner Sheetalk Development Corporation, required review of an approved special use permit SUP 55233 for a dual-use marijuana dispensary at 2307 South Las Vegas Boulevard, C2 General Commercial Zone, number 91, SDR 76101, Site Development Plan, Public Hearing, applicant Louis Bautista, owner, EAE Property LLC, and a request for a site development plan review to increase the number of residential units from 2 to 5 for an existing 2-unit, 2-story mixed-use development on .17 acres at 1228 South Casino Center Boulevard, C1 Limited Commercial, and number 92 SDR 76117, Site Development Review, Plan Review, Public Hearing, applicant owner RCIP Series 8 LLC et al. Under a request for a major amendment to previously approved site development plan reviews, SDR 66658 and SD 0020-97, for an existing building maintenance service and sales facility with a waiver to allow a 0-foot landscape buffer along a shared property line where 8 feet is required on 1.82 acres at 3808 Melody Lane and 1801 North Rancho Drive, C2 General Commercial Zone. Staff recommends approval on all items, which are public hearing items, which I declare open. Is there anyone wishing to be heard on items number 83 through 92? Seeing none, I'll close the public hearings. Mayor Pro Tem, may I have a motion for the one motion, one vote, items 83 to 92? And
Madam Mayor?
yes,
Just want to make one disclaimer on, on item 84. I just want to make note that I own a billboard company called Career Outdoor Advertising, and this has to do with Lamar. We are not in competition on this, and there's no conflict of interest whatsoever, so I'll be voting.
And that's okay?
That is okay, Mayor. We've advised the councilman he's able to vote on this item.
Thank you, thank you. Okay.
All right, you want the motion?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Mayor, I move to vote to approve on the one motion, one vote, items number 83 through 92.
Thank you. There's a motion. Please vote on the motion and post, please. Yes.
He also applies for Clear Channel Outdoor. Thank you.
Okay. So please add in that Councilman Creer says the same applies on 83 for Clear Channel. And please post, which you have done. The motion's carried. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to planning. And we are starting, whoops, I've got too much stuff up here. Can we have a bigger dais? Let's rebuild the building. Okay. Agenda item 93 has been obeyed to the 17th of July, I believe, but I think our city clerk is still learning. 93 obeyed to the 17th of July, please?
Yes.
Okay, and agenda items 94 through 98 are obeyed to the 3rd of July. Correct? Yes. I heard a yes. That must have come from Stacy. Okay, which brings us now to 99. Okay. Agenda item 99, VAR 75829, a request for a variance to allow 20 parking spaces where 32 spaces are required. Number 100, VAR 75832, and a request for a variance to allow a 5-foot side yard setback where 10 feet is required and to allow a 6-foot rear yard setback where 20 feet is required. And agenda item 101, SDR 75833, and a request for a site development plan review for proposed 4,860 square foot medical office development with waivers to allow a 6-foot landscape buffer along a portion of the east property line where 15 feet is required, to allow a 0-foot landscape buffer along the north, south, and west property lines where 8 feet is required, to allow blank facades where such is not allowed, and to allow less parking lot landscaping than what is allowed. The applicant is Jason Mayhew, and the owner is Michael and Diana Moore Trust and Matthews Family Trust on .45 .42 acres at 1807 West Charleston, C1 Limited Commercial Zone. Planning Commission recommends approval on all items. Staff recommends denial on all items. These are in Ward 1 with Councilwoman Tarkanian and are public hearing items which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present?
Yes, Jason Mayhew here.
Thank you.
Billy Platt, owner's representative.
Thank you very much. Do you want to make your comments?
Yes, I'd like
And
to make
please-
just a couple of comments. At the last city council meeting, it was discussed to change it to regular office versus the medical office, which reduced the parking down to required of 22 spaces instead of the 32. So we're only asking for a variance of the 2 spaces there. The drawings, I did email them to planning, and it's not reflected on here. The drawings I have here it is reflected on, but it was changed to just office instead of medical office,
Correct.
which reduced that down to just a waiver for 2 parking spaces instead of 10.
Okay,
And-
so
and
on
Madam Mayor-
101, if I might add, 101 on what I have in front of me, and our council all has in front of them, the word medical office development now needs to come out and be updated to show that this is just a general office building.
Correct, Madam Mayor. That'll be a part of my presentation to make those modifications. What they're proposing is less intense. You can always do something less intense than what's notified. You can't do something more intense than what's notified. Unfortunately, because it was only obeyed for the 2 weeks because of the timeliness that the applicant had requested at the last meeting, that was insufficient for us to update any of the official material in advance of this meeting, but I will verbally update this application as a part of my report.
Okay, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, so any other comment you wish to add to this?
No, I think we're
Okay.
good. Thank you.
Now, this is, I believe it's public hearing. And so is there anyone from the public wishing to be heard on 99, 100, or 101? Hearing and seeing no one, it is your turn, Mr. Summerfield.
Madam Mayor, 1 second as I lost my place. Madam Mayor, the subject site is not a part of a commercial subdivision and therefore must conform to all development standards associated with landscape buffers, building proximity to parcel lines, and facades. That being said, the proposed development fails to comply with both development standards that would apply to the site if it had been a part of a commercial sub as well as since it does not. This is evidence of a proposed self-imposed request for the variances and the waivers, so staff has recommended denial. As noted by the applicant, they have submitted additional documentation indicating that this will be what our code calls office other than listed, instead of medical office, which does have a lower parking threshold. So I will have a condition to that effect to address on the site development review. I also believe in briefings that the Mayor Pro Tem had some questions regarding the landscaping along Shadow Lane, and so depending on how that discussion goes, I may have some amendments to related to that landscape buffer. And as indicated by the applicant, because of the reduction in the parking demand, we will be making a correction, an amended condition on the variance after you have had your discussion this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Okay, any comments, questions from council? Okay, Councilwoman?
As I understand from planning, reducing the number to what it is now of just 1 or 2 short spaces, we can move ahead with approval.
Yes, ma'am. So through you, Madam Mayor, the reduction in the intensity of the office use from a medical use to just a standard office use will reduce that parking variance down to approximately 2 spaces based on the parking calculation that the applicant submitted. And so we believe that that is fairly close. I mean, again, it is a variance, so staff is still making a technical recommendation now, but it's a much less of a deviation than was previously being requested.
It's what we call a soft denial. Is that what it is?
We keep that for briefings, ma'am, but yes.
So then I recommend that the item be passed with the reduced the reduction of the medical title.
Thank you. And council, would that be, can we take them all together?
No, ma'am, we need to take them separately.
Thank you.
Is there a way you want that worded so that we're very careful? I want to be sure I do this right for the person who follows me.
Yes, ma'am. So one of the things that we need to make clarification on, in briefings, you had discussed the possibility that you may ask for the full buffer on Shadow. Right now, they're requesting the waiver. Based on our analysis of the site plan and the parking requirement, they actually, with the change that they made to office other than listed, they no longer will require a parking variance. They have, they show 20 spaces. Our parking analysis shows they only need 17, so they actually will go from being parking deficient to having technically a surplus of parking. However, based on the discussion during briefings yesterday, you had indicated that you may request them to do the buffer on Shadow. If we do the buffer on Shadow, that would eliminate 4 parking spaces that are currently shown on the site plan, and therefore they would need the variance, although the variance would only be for 1 parking space at that time. So it really is a matter of, if you want to have that discussion, if the application as it sits, we would actually move to strike the variance because it's no longer needed, and then I have some amended conditions for the site development review.
So is the better way to say that we want to have, that this is approved with only 1 parking lot variance?
Correct. So if you're going to make the request and the applicant's going to agree to do the landscape buffer on Shadow, then the variance item 99, we would amend that variance to allow 16 parking spaces where 17 spaces are required.
All right. Now, I know when we talked about this before, I said to you, why did you cut down all that vegetation that was on that lot? You remember?
Yes, there were some very large trees that were right in the middle of that lot.
But there was some on the
building was
peripheral,
demolished.
on the Shadow Lane. Something was there according to the maps.
Yes,
I don't know what it was. And the problem we have is this, even though your address isn't Shadow Lane is what that side of your building where you will have no windows.
We do have windows on that
Oh,
side.
do you have windows
Yes,
on that side? I didn't
absolutely.
see that.
There's 2 windows on the Shadow Lane side
Right.
of the building there, yes.
Okay.
And we have a reduced landscaping, but we're still adding the same number of trees across there and the same number of small ground cover. So it's just not 15 feet, it's reduced from that, but we still have the same number of
What
trees
is
and
it?
everything.
It's reduced from 15 to what?
It's different in 2 different areas. So at the building, it's reduced to 10, and then it goes back to this parking island in the middle that's much wider, and then it reduces to 6 right at these parking spaces, and then goes wider at the parking finger there.
All right, this is
So we still have the same amount of trees and everything across there, it's just not 15 feet.
This is what we discussed in planning, so I want to check with you carefully. Does this alleviate the problem we have of how the side of that building is going to look to Shadow? Because that is the medical district.
Yes, ma'am. So that does resolve the concerns on the building portion. As the applicant indicated, the area, and because of the setback variance that has been requested, that 10 feet of landscaping adjacent to the building, and then with that side having the storefront type facade with the windows and what have you, that will address that part of the building. The area of the landscape buffer at 6 feet, that is adjacent to where you see the 4 parking spaces that would be perpendicular to Shadow. Those would be impacted by any increase, any request by you for them to not have a 6-foot buffer and instead have the required 15-foot buffer.
The 6-foot buffer is where the parking is, right?
Correct, yes, right here. Right here. We still have the same number of trees
Right, I
trees on
understand
center
that.
and everything.
And the corner there goes deeper than that. It goes how many feet? The little square?
Right here?
Well, right there by the
Right
building.
here is 6 plus 19, so 25 feet.
So that's 25 feet there.
Yes.
The only thing I'm concerned with right now is it adequate as far as planning's concerned, if we have what we have on that little side there?
For plant material, it is. For the buffer width to ensure that you have a robust, healthy planting zone, it's less at the 6 feet than the 15. But yes, the applicant is right. They are proposing to put in the amount of plant material that our code would require.
You know, both the mayor and I don't live very far from there, so we'll go by there often, and we'll make sure that plan.
We are
You
trying to make
understand
this
why
a
we're so
beautiful-
concerned. We've worked very hard in the medical district. We've had so many people in the city work very hard. Shadow Lane is an important street. It'll be of even more importance as time goes on for that district. So that seems to me to meet the two concerns we had in planning. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, based on our
I want
discussion.
that on the record, you see, because I like it when he says, yes, man, and I don't have to debate. All right, then we're taking them one by one? Correct.
So Madam Mayor, then with that, it sounds like we are not moving to eliminate those 4 spaces and increase the landscape buffer there. So procedurally, then, what I would do is I would request that the variance is no longer required for VIR 75829, and I would ask that that item be struck from the agenda.
We don't need the variance.
Because there's no change.
Or the applicant could withdraw the application without prejudice if they chose for whatever reason. But at this time, based on our analysis, we believe they only need 17 parking spaces for the square footage they've requested. And so that they will, at 20 spaces, they will meet their parking requirement.
All right. We go back to the beginning now, don't we?
I apologize, Madam Mayor. Mr. Lowenstein needs to hold up on that action for just 1 second.
He's wrong in the parking, I think.
I apologize, Madam Mayor. There's a previous condition from another zoning, so when we did our analysis, we did it just off of the proposed new building, but we just noted from the documentation that there is a requirement for overflow parking on this site. So I'm going to retract my recommendation of a strike.
Wait a minute, you said yes, ma'am.
I know, I did, and I apologize. I have to walk that back a little bit. So my new recommendation is on variance 75829, that we add a condition, the variance shall be approved for 20 parking spaces where 22 are required.
That's what I understood. That's what I understood, yeah. That 17, kept looking at that, I was
Yeah.
like, wait a second.
So then I will move on item number 99 to obey this item.
No, not obey, approve.
Approve.
Oh, why did I say obey? I'm sorry. I think I'm going back, I guess. But I am moving to approve item 99.
Subject to the added condition.
Yes, subject to the added conditions.
Okay, there's a motion, please vote and please post.
22. Good there.
And that motion carries. How about 100? Item 100?
On item 100, a 5-foot side yard setback where 10 feet is required, I move to approve that because that makes it move straight with all the buildings. You're building your portion so that it will be the same in the front and the back, and that'll be better aesthetically.
Correct, yes.
So I move to approve.
There's a motion to approve on item 100. Please vote and please post.
And on item number 101,
I have a question on 101, if I might.
Yes.
What did you say, why will there be no landscape buffer on the south side of the building? You mentioned it last time.
It's
you were
only
in
a
front of us.
5 foot to the next, to the property line right there, and the neighbor has trees there, and they have no, there's nothing there. And I believe when this is going to be it's already a concrete gutter for drainage across there also.
Okay.
So if we were to pull out the concrete gutter and put trees in there, we're just creating more of a wash where it's just going to wash out at some point anyways.
All right,
And I
thank you.
believe the trees on that lot sort of cover the building. You
Yes.
almost can't see that building from where
Correct,
yours would
correct.
be.
So, Madam Mayor, before Mayor Pro Tem makes her motion, I do have an added condition on this SDR 75833. The added condition would read, "The proposed use of the building shall be for office other than listed only."
Okay, so that removes the word medical.
Correct. That
Yes.
will address the change of use from a medical office to the current parking demand.
And so that, to which you have agreed before, correct?
If that's the only way
To
we can get
get
it
this on,
approved, yes.
right. Okay.
So I move to approve item 101 with the condition as stated.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve agenda item SDR 75833 with the amendment. So please vote and please post. That motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. You have a wonderful day.
Great.
Thank you.
So agenda items, now we're on, that was through 101. So agenda items 102 through 110, is it? 109 have been withdrawn without prejudice, as I recall. So we're on agenda item 110. ROC 76347, public hearing, applicant Rafael Shaker, owner, RCMC Family LLC, Series 2, possible action or request for review of condition number 1 of an approved special use permit, SUP 71301, for beer, wine, cooler off-sale establishment use, which states, quote, "The sale of individual containers of any size beer or wine coolers is prohibited. All such products shall remain in their original configurations as shipped by the manufacturer. Further, no repackaging of containers into groups smaller than the original packaging shall be permitted," end quote. On .19 acres at 1801 East Charleston, C1 Limited Commercial Zone, Ward 3, Councilman Coffin. Staff recommends denial. And this is a public hearing. Hello?
Hello,
And
Mayor,
please state
Council.
your name for the record.
David Brown, 520 South 4th Street. With me is Laura Dreja, a colleague at our office. This is our application. In October of 2017, the special use permit was first granted. There was a condition that my client was not going to be permitted to sell singles. The reason for the condition was Mr. Shaker was new to the business, had little experience. It has now been approximately 2 years. He's had no liquor violations of any sort. He's had no enforcement problems. All of the competitors in the neighborhood all have the ability to sell singles. We'd ask for the same ability.
And this is did you wish to say anything, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public wishing to be heard on this item? Hearing none, I'll close public hearing. And Mr. Summerfield.
Madam Mayor, staff supports the original condition of approval imposed by the City Council, and which is why we've recommended denial. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any comments from council? Okay, Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. We've had no complaints from this location, and that was the fear about single sales there, so I think we can dismiss that and go ahead and approve the removal of the review of condition. I think that's essentially what we're asking for here, right? So
That's your motion.
that's the motion.
Thank you very much. There's a motion to approve agenda item 110. Please vote and please post. The motion carries.
Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Okay, agenda 111 has been obeyed to the 17th of July? Or no? Not obeyed.
Madam Mayor, the school district has requested that we hear the item. They did send something in advance of the meeting to request that that not be obeyed.
Okay. Well, and of course, because we have representatives here. So, SCD 75882, public hearing, applicant owner, School Board of Trustees for possible action and a request for a major deviation of the Summerlin development standards to allow a proposed 36-square-foot animated wall sign which such is prohibited on 10.86 acres at 215 Antelope Ridge Drive, PC Plan Community Zone SF3/NF, single-family detached neighborhood focus, Office, Summerlin Special Land Use Ward 2, which is vacant. Staff recommends denial. Planning Commission recommends approval. This is a public hearing, which I declare open. And please.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. My name is Chris Dingle. I'm at 1180 Military Tribute Avenue. I'm with the school district. This is a request for an animated wall sign at Billy and Rosemary Vasiliadis Elementary School. If you can look on the overhead, that's where the sign, I'm pointing my pen to where the sign is going to be. It's going to be located on an existing CMU retaining wall. And I'll flip this over and show you the sign. The sign it's two parts. It's the school identification and also an LED portion. It's 10 by 6. It will be painted tan to match the wall. It'll be used by the school to convey information about the school to the parents and the students as they enter. It's been reviewed by the Summerlin Non-Residential Design Review Committee, and it's been approved. It's being donated to the school, and I'm here to ask for your approval.
The hours of operation of the sign are important because you don't want that flashing all through the night,
Yes.
disturbing passers-by and cars and residents and everything else.
Correct. Summerlin actually conditioned it, they conditioned it on approval that it be turned on an hour before the school and an hour after the school, and we plan to abide by that condition.
Okay, and the after-school hours would include the extracurricular, I mean, it may be a Safe Key school that might
Yes.
stay open till 6?
Safe Key, I believe, is till 6.
Right. So and the gentleman with you, please,
sorry.
your name, please?
Yeah, Rich Henshaw with Patrick Signs.
Okay. So, Mr. Summerfield, I think even this, again, is in Ward 2, but I think it's really critical because we have heard from residents. I don't know if people are here from the public that wanted to comment on this item, but I would think a time restriction is part of it if it isn't already in planning departments.
It is not, Mr. Lowenstein, based on the discussion and based on what the representative just indicated. He's writing up a condition that I'll add in after I give my report. So, Madam Mayor, as indicated by the applicant, the Summerlin Non-Residential Design Review Committee has acknowledged and does support the deviation, as the sign will support the existing Clark County elementary school at this location. However, the Summerlin development standards do specifically prohibit animated signs, and as such, staff has found that this deviation could potentially have a negative impact on surrounding residential development, and therefore that we have recommended denial of the application. If approved, we would ask to add a condition that the animated wall sign shall only be operated 1 hour before school begins to 1 hour after school ends. And that would be the added condition if approved.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone from the public who wanted to be heard on agenda item 111? I'll close the public hearing. Because we have somebody already elected but not sworn in, I would like to, when do you intend to build this sign? When will it be operative?
Well, we were going to wait, obviously, we'd wait till it's approved, if it's approved, and then we'd try to get it in before the start of school in August.
In the fall?
Yeah.
So my sense is at this point, depending on how animated, it's a normal animated sign, and it's only used for school activities, as you're saying, and school-related, if they have a party there, or if they're having some band coming to the school grounds, that would comply.
Correct.
With its purpose.
Yes.
It does not have any noise with it.
No, it's just mainly to convey, information to the parents as they're dropping off the kids. It's in the drop-off
And
side.
is it one-sided or two-sided,
It's
the way it's placed?
one-sided.
One-sided. Okay, I'm going to move for approval on this, and of course, as the new council person comes in, should there be any response from the residents that it's really created a problem, of course, that would be the opportunity to bring it back to you at planning, and because we're getting such a negative response on it.
Yes, ma'am. And then Mr. Lowenstein and myself were talking, based on that, the school day obviously doesn't operate in the summer. So do we want to specify hours of operation versus 1 hour before school and 1 hour after? You mentioned Safe Key and maybe other after-school programming where it may be appropriate for the school to use the sign to convey messaging. So we would just throw that out there that instead of the condition that I think that Mr. Dingle indicated that Howard Hughes or the design group from Summerlin gave him, we may want to actually specify hours of operation so that there is no confusion and we don't create an unintentional code enforcement case.
Or they're advertising, unless they have a summer program at that particular school site, and meetings for that, which would be germane to the activities going on in the building over the summer, or use of their property over the summer. I mean, I think they're variables. I don't know how, rather than after the fact saying, oh, wait, now this is, I mean, I can't believe the school district doing that, but not to take advantage of that.
And Madam Mayor, there might be some type of educational activity, a play in town.
Right.
Or a musical or something that you want the parents to know they might be able to take their children and have that on it.
So Madam Mayor, I think Mr. Lunstein has worked out a good solution to that question. So the added condition we would propose is that the animated wall sign shall only be operated 1 hour before the school day begins to 1 hour after the school day ends and during school functions or events. That will allow them, if they have something occurring on a weekend or an evening, graduation for the kindergartners or whatever the case may be, they could then still be in compliance with the intent and still be okay.
And even if it were a month or 3 weeks before school, to have their calendar posted. I mean, school-related information.
That's what I was going to say. If you could just say school-related. You said school. Could you just add school-related?
Right.
Gives you more flexibility.
Because we don't want to handicap them, but I would be pretty sure if this is successful, it'll appear at other school sites. And so we don't want to set a precedent that will negatively affect neighborhoods around the entire community, because we have animated signs now in the children. So I think anything that's school-related is appropriate over the summer to let them know where registration is or whatever.
Sometimes there's things at Springs Reserve or Red Rock that parents might want to take their children to during the summer, and they might want to show that on the sign.
No, we would not encourage that, because that would be construed as off-premise advertising, and that would make it a billboard, and we would not want to conflate the two.
School activity.
It would only be for on-site school-related activities and functions.
And information.
Yeah.
If that's, okay. And I know we have our lovely from the school district, so if that works for you. Okay, so that will be my motion, and again, I think I closed the public hearing. I remember asking, but I'm going to close it now. And could you repeat the exact words that will be the restriction on this, please?
Yes, ma'am. So the added condition for this SCD 75882 would be the animated wall sign shall only be operated 1 hour before the school day begins to 1 hour after the school day ends, and during school, I believe what I heard was school-related functions and events.
And information.
And information.
Okay,
Hey,
that's my motion.
Can I
Yes.
clarify one thing? We can run it in the summer. as
Can you
said.
come closer to the mic?
We can
Sorry.
run it. It can be on during school hours during the summer. That's what, before school for registration and.
Oh, I mean, things like that, school-related
During the summer.
information.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
So that's my motion. If you'll vote, please, and post. Okay?
Thank you.
Carries, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, agenda items number 112, 113, number 112, VAR 76077, on a request for variance to allow deviations from Title 19.10 CV Civic Development Standards. Number 113 SDR 76079, a request for a site development plan review for proposed two-story, 88,540 square foot primary public school development. The applicant is Clark County School District. The owner is School Board of Trustees, 7.03 acres at 950 North Tonopah Drive, CV Civic Zone. On both items, the Planning Commission recommends approval and staff recommends denial. These are in Ward 5 with Councilman Creer, and our public hearings, which are open. Is the applicant, of course, here? Yes.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Mark McGinty, SH Architecture, representing Clark County School District, 7250 Peak Drive, Las Vegas. And if I would, I'll direct your attention to the monitor. It's 7.3 acres. This is Tonopah, just to orientate you on the front. We've made sure all of the major operations work off of Tonopah, which was requested in the neighborhood meeting, and really drove a lot of our variance requests. And we've got 68,000 square foot of new building and renovating approximately 20,000 square feet of existing. And that's why you see the existing parking lot and landscape waivers asked for in those locations. And with that, I would address any questions the mayor or the council would have.
Could I just ask you, which part of this diagram in front of us, where's the two-story building? On the left there?
It's
the green thing?
At the top. This is Virginia. It's the top part right here.
Okay. And those are the classrooms, too?
Those are classrooms, yes.
Okay. Reminds me of Boston.
Yes, it does.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Before I turn it over to Mr. Summerfield, anybody wishing to comment on these two items, please come forward. Hearing none, I'll close comment, and Mr. Lowenstein will do it.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Staff finds the proposed 6 deviations from the development standards to be self-imposed hardship, as there are no unique or extraordinary circumstances presented to warrant otherwise. As such, staff cannot support the requested site development plan review and associated variance requests. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Creer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't have any concerns. I know that our community does not. So if there's no discussion, I'd like to make a recommendation for approval.
Okay, please, let's take them one at a time.
Thank you.
Number 111.
112, VAR 76007, move for approval.
12. Thank you. On agenda item VAR 76077, there's a motion to approve. Please vote and please post. That carries. And on
Thank you,
agenda
Mayor.
item 13.
Item 113, SDR 76079, I move for approval.
Thank you. There's a motion on agenda item 113 for approval. Please vote and please post. That motion carries. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, we'll move on to agenda items 114, 115, and 116. 114 VAR 76120, and a request for variance to allow a 0-foot rear yard setback where 20 feet is required, number 115 VAR 76267, on a request for a variance to allow 15 parking spaces where 27 are required, and number 116 SDR 76121, a request for a site development plan review for proposed 2,078 square foot expansion of an existing auto repair garage minor building with waivers to allow service bay doors to face the right-of-way and 0-foot wide landscape buffers adjacent to the north and west property lines where 8 feet is required. The applicant owner is Best Amigos LLC on .59 acres at 2401 North Rancho Drive, C2 General Commercial Zone. Planning Commission and staff recommend denial on all items. These are in Ward 5 with Councilman Creer and our public hearings, which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present? Okay, Mr. Summerfield, we have Mr. Lowenstein, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is a request to expand an existing auto repair shop. The subject site has an open code enforcement case regarding weeds and outdoor tire storage. Due to the associated variances and waivers, staff finds that the proposed building expansion as configured is not harmonious and compatible with the surrounding area. Therefore, staff is recommending denial of all the requested entitlements. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other information from planning who also recommended denial?
Madam Mayor, I was at that Planning Commission meeting. The Planning Commission's denial was based on the fact that they just didn't believe that the plan was fully fleshed out. I think there was their big concern, and that they thought there could be more work done on this proposal.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to be heard on agenda items 114, 115, 116? I'll close public hearing. We'll turn this over to Councilman Creer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can you indulge me and give me just 1 minute?
Sure.
Thank you. You know, Madam Mayor, I thought they would be here today. Now, they haven't reached out to us. We've attempted numerous times to reach out to them. We're going to give one more shot, I would like to, and obey it until our July 3rd meeting, if possible. And then we'll make a couple more efforts to try and get in touch with them and see if we can get some more information from them.
Okay. So agenda 114, there's a move to obey to July 3rd. All three, 114, 115, and 116, a motion herein made to obey them all till the July 3rd council meeting. Please vote. And please post. And those motions are obeyed. I mean, they were approved. So now, yes, now we move on to agenda item number 117's been obeyed to the 17th of July, so we'll move on to agenda item 118, SUP 76107, public hearing, applicant Mina Bakhtar, owner Bakhtar Motors, Inc., for possible action and waiver for a special use permit for motor vehicle sales use with a waiver to allow 13,504 square feet of area for the use, where 25,000 square feet is the minimum required at 3939 Corin Lane, C2 Commercial, General Commercial Zone, Ward 5, Councilman Creer. Both Planning Commission and staff recommend denial. This is a public hearing, which I declare open. Is the applicant present or representative? Hello.
Good afternoon. Mayor Goodman and council, my name is Brent Bakhtar. I am the owner of 3939 Corin Lane. I purchased the property in December of 2018, and at the time of the purchase, the building was dilapidated. The past owner of Corin Lane operated a mechanic shop for over 30 years. My hopes were to restore the shop and continue the service he provided to the people in the community. I'm here before you today to request the special use permit of motor vehicle sales with a waiver to allow 13,500 square feet, 504 square feet of area where 25,000 square feet is the minimum required.
Thank you very much. This is a public hearing, but before we hear from the public, Mr. Summerfield or Mr. Lowenstein, the buildings, first of all, how wide is Corin Lane? Is that 2 lanes in each direction, 1 lane in each direction? Is it a major thoroughfare? The answer is no. Okay, and the buildings immediately to the north with the red roofs, are those apartments or condominiums?
Madam Mayor, so to the north, they're multifamily residential development, and to the east is multifamily residential. To the south of the property is a retail location, and then to the west is a vacant property.
But specifically to the north,
I'm sorry?
Specifically the red roofed ones that look all the same?
That's a multifamily residential property.
ownership or rental?
Rental. It's an apartment
Rentals.
complex, yes.
Okay. And then on the right is Rancho, and then the Coran Lane, as Councilman Creer just said, one lane each direction?
It's a 60-foot right-of-way, yes.
Okay, okay. So at this point, this is a public hearing. Anyone wish to be heard on either of these, on 118? I'll close public hearing, and let's hear from Mr. Lowenstein.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The proposed waiver would allow a 46% deviation from the 25,000 square foot required to be dedicated to the proposed use. Due to the waiver request, staff finds the proposed use cannot be conducted in a manner that is harmonious and compatible with the surrounding land uses, and therefore recommends denial of the application. Thank you.
Okay, Councilman Creer.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It's my understanding that this is going to be more internet sales, and is that, you might want to express that?
Madam Mayor and Council, my name is Marjorie Fergoso. I'm the General Manager for Precision Auto Lending and tenant of Mr. Wachter. We're an internet web-based dealership, and we conduct business by appointments only.
Wonderful.
Right, so there won't be people coming up and
No.
searching through cars and cars out on the front in the lot.
No.
Yeah, and also, this is already a auto care facility where it has an industrial use as well. I think that it would be sufficient to be here. I would want to add some type of condition, though, that you wouldn't have more than, 2 or 3 cars parked out front. I don't know what the right number would be, and how do we come up with that? Because, it's not meant to be used as a car lot.
Understand.
Since you're doing internet sales. And then as you're marketing, next thing you know, you got 30 cars parked out front, wrapped around the building, and it looks horrible. And nobody wants that. So I'm not sure, would you be amenable to 3 cars?
Yes, sir.
Parked out front for sale, or where did you plan to park the cars that are going to be for sale in the first place?
In the
back?
garage. Inside the garage.
Inside the garage?
Yes.
So how many cars are you going to be selling at a time then? How big is the garage?
The garage can hold up to 6 vehicles.
Okay. Okay, well then maybe we will say that we don't have any cars parked out front at all then, as a condition, for sale. I mean, obviously, if employees are coming and people come to purchase a car, they got to park someplace, but not a car lot. Would that make sense, Mr. Summerfield?
Yes, through you, Madam Mayor. Councilman, yes, that makes sense. It is a limited parking lot to begin with, so yeah, if that's the condition you would like. Typically, for smaller scale, the smaller scale used car kind of operation contemplated by our code is called an auto broker, and that doesn't allow any more than 2 vehicles on site. So I think a reasonable difference here, given the small site we're looking at, would be no cars for sale parked in the parking lot.
Yeah, and why wouldn't we go with, and do they seek an auto broker's license?
I'll be honest, I'd have to look to the applicant why they chose motor vehicle sales used over auto broker. I'm not aware of why they chose that.
Do you have any idea?
We've been in business since 2016, and we currently just moved in his location, and we weren't aware that they didn't have the special use permit for it.
But, so you currently have a auto dealership license?
Yes.
Which is different than an auto broker's license, correct, Mr. Summerfield?
That is correct. They are 2 separate uses. The auto dealer is meant to be the larger scale operation. The auto broker is really that very small scale, 1 and 2 cars maximum on the site. So it is really about scale. Given what's been represented, let me read the condition that Mr. Lowenstein's written up. It would be an added condition that no cars offered for sale shall be located outside of the enclosed building.
Yeah, now would it be cleaner if they were to have an auto broker's license? Or they would have to have a separate, because you already have a business license for an auto dealership, and this would just be an additional site underneath your...
The license that we have.
Yeah.
So the auto broker would limit them to only 2 vehicles available for sale at any one time.
Okay,
So I think based on the model that they're describing and what it seems you're comfortable with, I think this added condition provides that that additional mitigation for the small-scale site, but allows them to have more than 2 vehicles available for sale at any time.
Now, one of the things that I have concerns with is just the quality of the building itself and what that is going to look like. There's no landscaping, there's weeds around it, there's paint that is bad. Are you going to change the signage? What are you doing to enhance the facility itself?
We've actually already remodeled the place. We've repainted it and cleaned the front, took care of the weeds and we just cleaned up the whole property.
Yeah, I don't see any renderings or pictures or what that might look like if you've already done it.
I have it on my phone. Would-
Yeah, you could try to put it on your phone on the desk, because I would like to see what you've done in order to enhance it, because, you know, the sign says auto care out front. The side building has got half gray, half dark gray. There's weeds around the facility. There's no landscaping. There's no anything that would enhance.
Do you have?
I'm pulling.
Sorry, I think I've deleted it already.
I have some pictures of.
Yeah. You can set it down. There you go.
It's yellow and blue now, and they took off the auto care sign. And there's a new fence there.
Okay. Okay. All right. Are you okay with the conditions?
Yes.
No more than 2 cars parked out front for sale?
And should we get the additional licensing?
I don't think you need to. It's actually, it would hurt you than where you are now, because then you can only sell up to 2 cars
Got it, okay.
at that spot. So now you can go up to whatever your garage holds. So if you say it holds 6.
Yes.
Don't try to stuff 7 in there.
Okay.
All right, is there any other questions from the council? If not, I'd like to make a motion for approval for agenda item 118, SUP 76107.
As amended.
As amended, conditions. And, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, we have to vote. Hasn't come up yet. We have to vote.
You take it
Please
for
vote.
granted they gonna vote for you?
And then post. Thank you. Now you can go. Thank you. Good luck. Okay, so agenda item 119, SUP 76116, public hearing, applicant Angel L. Hammering, owner Paul C. Gallo Trust, for possible action or request for a special use permit for proposed 984-square-foot massage establishment use with a waiver to allow a 600-foot distance separation from an existing massage establishment where 1,000 feet is required and a 0-foot distance separation from City Park where 400 feet is required at 2911 North Teneo Way, Suite 215, CPB Plan Business Park Zone, Ward 1, Councilwoman Tarkanian. Staff recommends denial and planning recommends approval. This is a public hearing, which I declare open. Is the applicant or representative present? Hi.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Your
Yes,
name,
ma'am.
please.
Angel Hammering, 3217 Carolina Moon, North Las Vegas.
Wonderful. So which part of the facility, are you upstairs? I can't see. Are you up or down?
Upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a public hearing. Anyone wishing to comment on agenda item 119, please come forward and state your name for the record. We have a group coming forward. Please come forward.
Good afternoon. My name's Jared Hurling. I'm an attorney in the community, and our firm is familiar with Ms. Hammering. We fully support her business. We think it's time to change the public's perception of massage parlors in the community. We believe that her establishment is on par with a medical massage. We're comfortable sending our clients, our family and friends to her, and therefore would respectfully request that this be approved. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Hey, Madam Mayor, I'm Todd Kuhnwald. I own a primary care family medicine practice in the same complex as Angel. I'm currently referring patients to Angel. She's one of the only medical massage therapists in town that can do TMJ massage, which is amazing for patients who have TMJ, so I highly recommend that she be approved in the same facility.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
And they're all coming in from work, on a work day, for heaven's sakes. Look at this.
Hi, Zach Linder, 6733 Druid Hill Street. And I've been working with Angel for about a little bit over a year now. And I can definitely tell you that this is not like a spa massage. This is all medical and sports. And that's the kind of clientele we want. I'm sure you guys already have a good understanding of what we do and where you guys are voting for. So I'm just going to say that I want this project to go forward.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Ma'am.
Hello, I'm Erin Abreu. I've also been working with Angel for over a year now. She's been a wonderful mentor to me. We work with medical and sports-related protocol. I have learned so much under her, and I couldn't highly recommend someone more.
Beautiful. Thank you for coming down. Okay, and no one from the public? I think I closed. Oh, no, this is part of the public. Anybody else? I'm going to close public hearing. I'm going to turn this over now to Mr. Summerfield.
Madam Mayor, due to the associated distance separation waiver request, staff is recommending denial of this application. Thank you.
Thank you. It's all code. Okay, any comments from our council? I'm going to turn this over to Councilwoman Tarkanian.
From past experience in Ward 1, everybody up here knows that I'm very dubious about massage parlors. But I must tell you that the letters that have come in about what your work is about, and I wasn't quite sure if one of them was from the other massage parlor within a distance. If you were not, I didn't have the address, was it, or do you know?
We corresponded via email early on, and I requested her support or just her feedback on
So
the
the
new
lady-
location. And I did support it, or provide a copy of that email. Her response is that she was in complete support. She was excited about it, and she said, and if it didn't go through, she offered me a job.
Well, she did, it is included in the backup, and she's full of, it's obvious to me that she doesn't care if you're next door to her. She just admires your work. And so I move to approve this motion. And you are a medical massage, and that's what we need. We do need many of those. And it's
Absolutely.
too bad the reputation comes from those who don't follow massage appropriately.
I
And
appreciate
anyway,
that. Thank
I
you.
move to approve.
Thank you. There's a motion to approve agenda item 119. Please vote and please post, and it's lovely, the support you've gotten, and thank you all for
Yes.
coming down. We appreciate it, and best of luck.
Thank you
Best of
so
luck.
much, Madam Mayor.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mayor Tarkanian. Mayor
I
Pro
may
Tem.
come to you. Now that I have time, I may.
Yes,
some
please. I
medical
would love
help.
to have you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Okay, our agenda items 120 to 123 were heard earlier, so we'll move on to agenda. I can't believe we were thinking this was going to be a long session, and here we are. Agenda item 124, setting the date on appeals filed or required public hearings. I instruct the city clerk to set the public hearing dates and appeals from the City Planning Commission meetings, dangerous buildings, nuisance litter abatements. Please.
Will do, thank you.
Thank you. And so this is our final opportunity for citizen participation. Public comment during this portion of the agenda must be limited to matters within the jurisdiction of the City Council. No subject may be acted upon by the City Council unless that subject is on the agenda and was scheduled for action. If you wish to be heard, please come to the podium, give your name for the record, the amount of discussion on any single subject, as well as the amount of time any single speakers allowed may be limited. This is your opportunity to address the council, but the council is not able to respond or engage in dialogue. Any members of the public who wish, wow, you sat here this whole time. You are beyond a great Boy Scout. You are an angel. Okay, go ahead, say your name and give us your message.
My name is Philip Lucas, and I'm with Troop 143, and Hello, Madam Mayor and Council. I would like to thank the council members for the snacks and water that gave me that, and I really learned a lot from this council meeting. So thank you guys for teaching me about like how it works, from like setting a good example from the council meeting, and I'm gonna be going now, so thank you.
First of all, tell us, where are you at school?
Where do I go to school?
Yes.
I go to school at Thurman White Academy.
Oh, know
in
that
Henderson.
very well. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 6th going into 7th.
Oh, wow. So you're 11?
12.
12.
12 years old.
Excellent. And you came all the way in from Henderson?
No, I came from like southeast Las Vegas.
Okay, well, that's not Henderson,
It's
but that
close.
close to Henderson.
Yes.
Yeah? Well, we certainly are proud of you. We're proud of your being a Boy Scout, and I'm sure one day you'll be a member of City Council, if not the mayor, if you move into the city of Las Vegas. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it in some other community. But you're a handsome, wonderful young man, and we're very proud of you, and especially all those badges you've earned. So Eagle Scouts next, right?
Yes. My goal is to go to Eagle Scouts.
So when does that happen?
My Scoutmaster said I might get it by 8th grade.
Wow. And who did you bring with you that is sitting taking your picture?
Grandma.
Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandma. He's beautiful. He is beautiful, yes. So keep a hold of him tight, because somebody would like to have him as their son or grandson. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's the cutest. Thank you. Okay, you can go sit. You're okay. Is he the sweetest? Oh, my.
Hi, Madam Mayor,
Hi.
Council, and staff. I appreciate this opportunity to speak in front of you.
Again, name?
I'm Todd Kuhnwald. I'm the owner and operator of MK Medical Primary Care, direct primary care office. We're the first direct primary care office in Las Vegas.
Wow.
I want to talk to you about a few horrible statistics today and some really good news that can come of this. So Las Vegas is 51 out of 51 in the number of patients per provider in the country. So we have more patients per provider than the rest of the world, the rest of the country. We're also the least healthy in the country. We're number 1 in obesity, number 6 in suicide in the country. We're number 41 in the number of money or dollars we spend on each person in the state. And in Las Vegas, we're 43 for the country. Those aren't good statistics. So why are we 43 or 41 in expenditure but 50 in health? Well, that has directly a lot to do with, or primarily to do with, the number of providers that we have. Because we have such a high volume per provider, we also have very short and no access to providers. So we have 3 weeks to 3 month waiting period to get in to see a primary care provider in Las Vegas on average. And then once you get there, it's a 3-hour wait on average, and it's very expensive. $15 billion last year were spent on medical care in the state, and 2% of the city's budget is spent on medical care. That's quite a lot of money. But there's a better way, a much better way. It's called direct primary care. Insurance was never intended to be used for primary care. Insurance was intended to be used for catastrophic events. We insure our home and we insure our car, but we would never insure the gasoline in our car. We would never insure the lawn care for our home, because you don't want an insurance agent telling you that you can buy gas from these 3 gas stations, and if you go to one of these other gas stations, you pay twice as much, and if you go out the state, well, you can't buy gas at all. That's how insurance works, unfortunately. It makes things more expensive. So for an extremely low monthly fee and nothing else, primary care can be done extremely inexpensive. I'll just give you an example. I broke my finger 5 weeks ago. I walked in and paid cash for an x-ray. I have these finger splints in my clinic for 11 cents. The x-ray, because I'm paying cash, cost me $26. So for $26.11, I fixed 2 fractures in my finger. That's how much it's supposed to cost for primary care. I have our own dispensary, 2 dispensaries. The Board of Pharmacy will not allow me to call them pharmacies. However, it's the same thing. And we give our medicines away at cost. Our medicines are marked up between 5,000 and 10,000% in this country, and that's not an exaggeration. I give a year's supply of blood pressure medication called lisinopril for $6 a year. The copay for that medication is typically $5 a month. That's the copay. That's if you have great insurance. So your insurance is making you pay more than what the item costs to begin with. So because you have insurance, you're paying more. So if we go without insurance for primary care, and if we can unbundle primary care from insurance, we can literally dramatically decrease the cost of healthcare, especially in this city, but nationwide. And it starts with direct primary care clinics, one after the other opening because they don't like what's going on. And that's happening. Now, since we've opened, there are 5 more in the city that have opened. And what I'm here to offer and suggest is that the city is self-insured, which means every penny of medical expenditures that comes out of our pocket goes directly to pay for care, but at insurance rates. If we were to alter our thinking and change our medical care expenditures at what they should cost, which is less than 1 cent a pill for medications, less than $100 for every x-ray, less than $300 for MRIs, the city could dramatically reduce their expenditures for healthcare and dramatically increase the level of care that they receive at the same time. And so, to sum it up, if I were to collect insurance and see patients, I'd have to see a patient every 7 minutes to make money. Under my current practice, I see a patient once every hour, and I make more money, and my patients get better care. And I want to open this up to the city as a discussion to try to include direct primary care as a possible way to reduce expenditures and increase the amount of care that we receive in the city.
Thank you for coming forward. The dialogue, I think our city manager, this is something that certainly I'd love to see our city manager and staff give us feedback as to what he has proposed. And in our self-insured policies, why doesn't this work?
Madam Mayor, I think that's a very good comment.
Mayor, we may want to have
We can't, we're not allowed to do the comment, but that's why I was saying to have a conversation with our city manager.
I would be happy to do that.
Okay.
Madam Mayor, we can certainly put this item on an upcoming briefing to have that discussion, because
But I think you need to have a conversation
Yeah.
first, since we're not allowed to get in dialogue here. So just thank you for coming forward and making your comments.
Thank you for listening.
Can I make a statement if I'm not dialoguing? Oh, I can do it. I just want to state that having had some medical issues recently, every really good doctor that I've seen has told me how difficult it is to be a doctor now because of the fact of so many, the insurance pushes on you. They say they keep adding patients per hour, so they're getting now 20 patients per hour sometimes, which is ridiculous. You can't even say hello, goodbye.
That's exactly
And these are not doctors who are not well-trained. These are very well-trained, highly respected doctors, and it's just such a shame. There's got to be some way out of it.
So
Because-
you'll have some conversation with our city manager. Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Okay, Lenika Carruthers, I have your card. Are you still here? Or did you give up on the timeline? Okay, I guess Lenika has gone. Thank you. I'm going to close this, and we're going to move on to Agenda Item 126, Council Member Recognition. Comments made by individual council members during this portion of the agenda will not be acted upon by the City Council unless the subject is on agenda and scheduled for action. We're going to start. You best sit down for this last meeting. Out of seniority, I'm going to turn first to our Mayor Pro Tem, not in seniority necessarily in years, but seniority in service. So it's City Council, not overall in the state and jobs. So, Councilwoman.
I would like to state that historically, a very long time ago, this part of the meeting was given to members not just to talk about the items that are going to come for, team enjoyment, social enjoyment within their ward. what has happened is that we're getting to that point, and we've done it almost through the whole 14 years I've been here, but it's also, as I understand, Mayor, and I wonder you might check into it, it's a time, for example, if you might have an idea of a different kind, or you might have something else you want to say, you can say it then, and not just be giving out dates on a calendar. So I wanted to say that first. And then secondly, I wanted to say that I still have 1 week left, and I do want to send out, under the name of the board, if I can, and I'll send it around next week, just a certificate of recognition to Tom Axtell, who's in charge of our PBS station. I was in the school board when he first got started, and I will tell you what he has done with Channel 2, as I was not well and I was lying in bed and watching TV. It's totally amazing, the programs they have on our PBS. And he's done it literally by himself, with a lot of other people helping now, but he did it, and under his direction, I'd just like to say that. And then lastly, I had a question that came to me. In the insurance that is purchased by the public, and I purchased it myself, it's along the sewer that we purchased.
Sewer insurance, I just paid it.
Okay, and I pay it also. In the insurance that we pay on that, does that handle if roots get on your pipes and things like that? Because I told people that when they asked the question when we first came out with it, and then someone told me the other day, absolutely not, they call that a natural disaster. And natural disasters aren't covered.
Mayor Pro Tem, for the record, my understanding was that it was any damage, but we'll certainly look into it, and if you can give me that person's information, we can reach out to them. There's been several times where citizens called us where they had claims that weren't processed, and we'll reach out directly to the company and try to intervene and help out with that. So if you can give me that person's information, we can, but my understanding was any damage to the lines would be covered.
All right, thank you
Okay,
very
I
much.
would be very interested, because what I recall is that your property inside your property line is yours, and that this insurance was specific to, from your property line to the hookup to the sewer. That piece is what you're insuring, and that piece only. Anything within your own property is part of your own insurance, or anything else you can access. But this was insurance that was very expensive. The insurance was inexpensive. I think it's $67 or something like that. But it is, were you not covered, that cost from the property line to the main line hookup can be thousands.
Very expensive.
Yeah, actually, Mayor, it's from where the main line is in the middle of the street all the way to your house.
Property line.
Yeah, because a lot of people believe that from the property line to the middle of the street is part of the city's responsibility, but it isn't. The lateral actually comes into the main line. So from the main line all the way to your house, it's covered, even beyond the property line. So it's all the way into your house.
Wonderful. So if you haven't paid it, pay it. I'm up to date.
Yeah, and last, couple of things, since it's my last meeting. I forgot to mention my appreciation to Vicki Quinn, the planning commissioner I've had all these years, and thank her for contributions that she's made also. And to thank everybody who's here for the kindness they've shown and for being such good workers and making me so proud to be part of the city. I'm really, really grateful for that. And I thank you very much.
Beautiful. Okay, second, Councilman Coffin.
Thank you, Your Honor. I've said goodbye once today, so I won't repeat any of that. I just have enjoyed being with you and all the colleagues on the council. We've lost a few. I just happened to go away, but here they are, and now the new cast of characters is in charge, and I know you're going to do well. 3 new members. 3 new members?
Right.
My goodness. Okay. Well, there's no college for this. There's no training camp. You come in cold, and previous political experience helps, but there's nothing like being on the spot here when millions and millions are at stake. So I wish all of you the best. I will be dropping in from time to time. And as you said, Mayor, I'll be remaining on the commission.
Centennial.
The Centennial Commission. If you need me for anything else, just call.
Well, we certainly appreciate, I know I can say that beyond words, from previous councils with whom you've worked, And certainly from us up here, I think one of the things you just alluded to, it's very different to sit in state government here. It's a very different process, a very different experience to be working as a council member. And so whether you've been a regent before or an assembly person or senator, there is no way that they're compatible, and they have some areas that are similar, but this is totally different, and a total
certainly is.
huge learning curve, which I keep learning after 8 years still, and I know you and I came in together, and certainly Mayor Pro Tem has got 6 years beyond that. But the learning curve every single day is amazing to me. And so it must have been to you as
Yes.
well, because you did so many years at the legislature.
Well, I
You're
think
very
Bob,
valued.
I think Bob should tell you that he and I planned to do a soft shoe dance or something here at this last meeting. We really, truly did. But unfortunately, the last time we tried that, I ended up on the floor. We didn't want that to occur again. But you know what? We've had our disagreements and we've had our disappointments sometimes with each other, but that's how life is. And it's in disagreeing sometimes that you learn most about an issue, when you hear the other side. That's what sort of concerns me about today, is nobody wants to listen to the other side. But that's how you learn more. And we've had a wonderful, wonderful council. I'm really sorry to leave you all, and I'm going to miss you a lot.
Well, you'll miss the fun and games. Now, Councilman Anthony actually has served longer than either Councilman Coffin or me, and so he would be up, but I think he's not in the chair there. He's gone home.
left.
So next in seniority would be Councilwoman Fiore.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. You know, I first just want to start by letting my colleagues, Mayor Pro Tem Tarkanian and Councilman Bob Coffin, how much I really enjoyed being your peer here on this council. And I love the diversity, and I love the support that we show each other. And I love, as we would sometimes disagree up here, then we would go back and have lunch and love each other anyway. And I have to tell you, I have the utmost respect for you two, and I look forward to visiting with you after this. And with that, we will talk about our big 4th of July celebration that's coming up on 4th of July. We're going to start it at 6:30. Councilman Stavros Anthony, Clark County Commissioner Larry Brown will be joining us in this big celebration. Ed Bozart's going to be bringing a red, white, and blue Corvette out there. We're going to have hot dogs, like I think we just ordered 4,000 hot dogs. This, I don't know if you can see it, but this isn't your typical light-it necklace. This is battery operated, and we just ordered 1,000 of these. And these necklaces will last forever. When the battery dies, you just change it. So we're going to have everything from ice cream to apple pies to soda to hot dogs. We celebrate 4th of July big in Ward 6. Our fireworks show is going to be 15 minutes. So again, the city and the county has partnered up on if you light it, they write it, meaning don't purchase illegal fireworks. Last year in the city of Las Vegas, there was 77 $1,000 tickets passed out, so they are really cracking down. We have all the legal, illegal fireworks in Ward 6. We have them all because it's a professional firework company, so you'll have all of the big fireworks for yourself in Ward 6 on the 4th of July at Sky Canyon Park. So join me there at 6:30. On a great note, we have found Christina Duran, which is so good. She's 16 years old, and I'm just really grateful that we found Christina. However, we have a missing 17-year-old female. Lucero is missing, and she's only 5'1". She's got dark eyes and dark brown hair, and she's Hispanic. And so if you see Lucero, please call Las Vegas Metro Police or our Nevada Child Seekers. We need to find this beautiful girl. And also missing as of right now is Miguel Walker. He's 17. He's tall. He's 6 foot tall. He weighs about 170 pounds. He's got brown eyes, brown hair. He's African American. So please, if you see Miguel, please call the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police at 702-828-3111 or Nevada Child Seekers at 702-458-7009. Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. And now for the baby of this sitting council. The baby.
I am the baby. But I soon will become an elder come July the 3rd, actually. I'm an old head, which is amazing. The Rainbow Dreams presents the 19th annual Las Vegas Juneteenth Festival. Join the Las Vegas Rainbow Dreams Educational Foundation tonight as we present the 19th annual Las Vegas Juneteenth Festival. The celebration takes place at the Keage Isoki Palacio Park, Doolittle Park, from 6 to 9 p.m. Juneteenth is an American cultural celebration and is celebrated of the contributions of the diverse African traditions that enrich American culture. This is a family event. I will be there a little bit later and open to all. For more information, visit www.june19lv.com. The Las Vegas 2050 Master Plan tonight. The city wants your input on the future plans for the city of Las Vegas. So a 2050 Master Plan meeting will take place tonight at the Doolittle Community Center at 1950 J Street. The meeting will be held throughout the city to ensure residents have an opportunity to participate in the conversation. For more information, visit www.masterplan.vegas. The Bolden Community Coalition, Thursday, June the 20th, the Joint Bolden Area Command for their next coalition meeting on Thursday, June 20th at 10 a.m. at the AD Guide Knowledge Center, which is brand new, which is pretty cool if you haven't seen it, which is 817 North N Street. If you have an agenda item, RSVP by visiting 015917L at lvmpd.com. Strategies for creating great neighborhoods. Thursday, June the 25th, there will be a meeting at City Hall to investigate the redevelopment experiences in neighborhoods and explore the basic dynamics of neighborhood changes, decline, and renewal. The importance of faith organizations and their involvement as engaged partners are important to the city and the community. Join the meeting on Tuesday, June 25th from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to learn how you can be involved in revitalizing our communities. Coffee with Councilman Cedric Creer, which is going to be Thursday the 27th. I won't be holding the Creer's Community Conversation at Tenaya Creek Brewery June through August. So join me on next Thursday, the 27th of June, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. at Starbucks located at 1925 Martin Luther King Boulevard for a cup of coffee and conversation about matters important to you. Residents and businesses are welcome. For more information, contact my office, 702-229-5443. CERT course offered to Spanish-speaking residents June 29th through the 30th. The Southern Nevada Community Response Team, CERT program, is offering Spanish-speaking residents the opportunity to learn, aprender, essential preparedness and response skills for free. The two-day CERT course takes place Saturday, June 29th and Sunday, June 30th from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the City of Las Vegas Emergency Operations Center, which is located at 7551 West Sauer Drive, Las Vegas, Nevada, 89128. Students will have the opportunity to learn important skills such as fire suppression, basic first aid, search and rescue, disaster psychology, signs of terrorism, and more from bilingual certified CERT instructors. Students must attend both days of the course to receive CERT certification and a free backpack loaded with emergency supplies. Once again, the course is free, está gratis, but registration is required. And seats are limited. Register for the course at nvcert.org. Don't forget, you can always find us at Twitter, Cedric Creer, Instagram, Councilman Creer, Facebook, Councilman Cedric Creer. And before I end, I would be remiss because I unfortunately missed the ceremony today. I apologize. As you know, I was at a funeral of a very long time family friend. But I just want to take a moment to tell you and Councilman Coffin, Mayor Pro Temp, what an honor it has been to serve with you. Before I came on council, your reputations preceded you both. I have known Mayor Pro Temp a very long time. Our families go way back to when they first came in town, and her and her husband were recruiting basketball players to come to UNLV. And I I remember fondly the days were spent with the Tarkanians and George and Danny and the whole team. And it's been an honor to serve with you, Mayor Pro Tem. You have served your community with the utmost level of respect, with the highest level of intelligence, and with the utmost level of integrity. Even before I came on board, I know a lot of residents that live in your ward, and they always said that Lower Tarkanian is fighting for us, and I would concur. So I thank you for all that you've done in your long history of serving, not only in city council, but also your work on the school board as well. I think we sometimes forget that because you've been on the city council for so long, but your fight started with the school board, and you have been an advocate for so many, and it has been an absolute pleasure. Councilman Coffin, my goodness, it's been fun. It has been a fun ride. Once again, your reputation precedes you from the legislature coming into council as one that has always never been shy to express what is on your mind. And I believe that is an asset that all of us can take moving forward because, you know, people elect us to express their concerns and be their voice here. And you have most definitely been their voice. You have never been shy about that. And so I have learned from you in my short time of serving with you. But my time is not just in this past year, but it's your previous work in the legislature and here. So I wish you all the best. Don't drive Mary crazy. She is a very nice woman. I've spoken in her class a number of times, and hopefully she will be able to put up with all the time that she has with you. So congratulations. God bless you both. It has been a pleasure and an honor. Thank you.
Go Gales.
Go Gales.
So nice, just so nice to hear that how admired and loved you are, and we know you're just so part of the history here. I have a couple of items. One is at 9:30 on the 25th Tuesday, where you'll both be, the groundbreaking ceremony for our Las Vegas new Muni Courthouse, which is going to be fabulous. And then the 4th of July parade, another great one being given out there in Summerlin, starting at 9 on Thursday, July 4th at Hill Point and Lake Mead. So hot. It's always hot. Make sure you bring plenty of cold towels and hats and a lot of suntan cover, so whatever you're doing. And our next city council is on with our new city council members. The next council will be on Wednesday, July 3rd, and that's where the swearing in will take place. And then, of course, their first really put your hands in and get them all dirty will be July 17th. But you know, it is an honor, and when I reflect on my 8 years here and with these two wonderful people, in addition to the new people on our council and those who've served before, it's just been a treat, and it's no wonder I hate to sleep. I always look forward to another day at City Hall and among the people that make up our great community, but with the great leadership that we have here. And I echo it, and I know you all know we up here only are as good as those folks sitting out here and those behind the scene and our marshals and technology, all the departments, all the people, and we thank you for making it such fun and such a worthwhile feeling from us up here. And I know as both Mayor Pro Tem and Councilman Coffin go off, it's going to really be weird without you up here. And so we wish you well. We know we will see you. And just be healthy. But all I can say to both of you, life is great. Make the most of every single day that you have, but stay involved with something that's so significant. You've touched so many people and have done so much with your lives to this point. It doesn't just stop. And I know you will run for something else, and I know you'll be doing something else that'll be significant, because you will, according to Councilman Creer. poor Mary, so. Oh, my goodness. So thank you all. We stand adjourned. Thank you, our city clerk, our technology support on these brand-new dumb machines that we are trying to work through all the time to get life easier for the clerk's office. It doesn't seem to work. Planning, thank you. In fact, don't go too fast because I want you to read an email. But thank you all. And Mary, thank you. You just do a great job. And staff, Scott, Jorge, Tom. Tom, you really got a lot done today, Tom, from behind the scenes. What can you do? It's wonderful. It's just grand. So thank you all. And thank you here to the Boy Scouts and your Eagle Scout. We'll keep an eye on you. And Grandma, you're a lucky grandma. Whoa. Tech, thank you. Marshals, thank you.